Slight change of GM for Sundays. At least this Sunday. It's my turn on the rotor, so I am running some Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay for Drut, Fishy, and two of our friends, Jick and Kiki. So for those of you that aren't familiar with Warhammer Fantasy, you may have come across Vermintide, or Vermintide 2, or Blood Bowl, both based on the...
Total War Warhammer.
Or Total War Warhammer,
yeah. Total War Warhammer 2.
I'd forgotten about those, yes.
Or Warhammer Mark of Chaos.
There's a bunch of Warhammer games out there in Computer World. And all based on this world. Not necessarily happening within this world, but based on it. So you've got the same sort of races, characters, and take on things.
Chaos bad.
Chaos bad, everything else kind of grey, no real good guys. Just varying shades of grey. Unless, of course, you're a priest or priestess of Shalia.
I love you know there's plenty of us good guys around, thank you very much.
Oh god. Yes, I'd forgotten. I had hoped you'd forgotten.
Someone's setting out to bring down this corrupt imperialist system that's currently keeping everybody in thrall.
So, which I suppose brings us to, let's meet the characters. Fish, shall we start with you since you're being most vocal?
Okay. I am playing Brunhilde Southgarden, a halfling from the Moot, hence this classic and entirely accurate Mootish accent, which is obviously what all people from the Moot sound like.
Is now.
Brunhilde is an agitator, which means that she is basically a political leafleter. So she does indeed have several leaflets in her equipment list. I haven't yet identified what they all are, but they will mostly be concerned with raising the plight of the common man and doing away with the aristocracy, because that's what I've decided she agitates for. She has only one arm, for reasons that weren't made clear during character creation. They might be ad-libbed during the course of the game, who knows? At the moment, I haven't really decided why she only has one arm. She's 4 feet tall, which is tall for a female halfling, and is probably going to be very annoying.
Annoying or annoyed?
Both.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Well, I think as an agitator, I think that leads on to the person that's been under that plight. I'd like to introduce Leonard, who's from the wonderful south of Stimogen, where spent his childhood scrumping for apples, because who doesn't like wormholes?
Scrumping for cars, by the sound of it.
Well, that's what it is. You see, I mean, from the south, you've got to speak a bit of south blood, haven't you? So Leonard, not Leo, he's very strict about that. Not Leo. Leonard is a beggar, so he exists and wants stuff. He's a tiny little fella. Nice, a bit skinny, clearly not had a good upbringing in that sense, never good old mother's meals, didn't know his parents actually. But yeah, Leonard's just decided to kind of travel a bit north, find out what's going on up there, and see if we can get some different bits and bobs, because as much as he loves apples, living off of wormwods all day is not good.
Okay.
Kiki, do you want to tell us a little bit about your character?
Yeah, so Ardith Corral is a elven seer. He's travelling around on his gap decade, looking for some fun and gambling, taking in the culture and scenery before he has to go back to the forests and finish his studies. Mainly, he's just out to try and find some underground fighting arenas and gamble a bit. He's got his trusty means of discerning where he's going in the future and all manner of things via the use of ferrets, which they of course greatly enjoy and willingly sacrifice themselves for. It's very humane.
Slightly concerned by the wide-eyed look at Fishy's end there. What's going on?
I'd forgotten the ferrets!
Yeah.
How could you forget the ferrets? They feature in his character pick. They're sort of just behind the rock to the right of his.
Traumatically blocked out the ferrets, I think is possibly the better way of putting it. So I suppose that just leaves me.
Indeed, it does.
Yes, you see, you can tell that me and Brunhilde basically grew up together. Because, well, Brunhilde has retained that mootish twang. This is how the well-spoken of Altdorf sound. Lenore von Ritter is a pit fighter. Not a pit fighter because she was sentenced to anything, but because she simply likes kicking ass. She's the child of a knight, and Brunhilde's mother was her squire. So they kind of grew up knowing each other like that. Which doesn't mean that Brunhilde's the help. Why is everything going off? Okay. So yes, basically I am into heavy combat. And my standard raison d'etre is to travel around inviting the local town rulers to fights and battling local worthies and lads who fancy themselves. And while we've got a crowd, then Brunhilde goes around and leaflets them. Essentially.
I pick up the rest.
Well, you pick up the rest, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mute all my servers.
Well, while they're busy being harassed and leafleted by Brunhilde, I suspect that at the other side, around the back, there's Leonard just sort of picking out what he can from the pockets.
Yep.
Now, as a group, you guys have been together to varying degrees a little while. Obviously, Brunhilde and Lenore slightly longer than the others. But you've not long arrived in Middenheim. You found yourself in a affordable, when I say affordable, I mean cheap, because you're not exactly wealthy, inn called the Grey Lord. It's in one of the less well-off areas of the city. But it's run by a nice old guy and his daughter. Well, no, his daughter's too young to assist, but tries to help as best she can, bless her.
Well, we could have got the yellow bites in then.
I could have done, actually, yeah, thinking about it, yes. He does have a barmaid on hand to assist as well. Nice old chap, keeps the place ticking over, doesn't seem to be too interested in much outside of keeping the tavern running and being generally a nice guy to everyone that's in the tavern. You've got a couple of other people staying at the inn with you. There's a good few rooms there. Not all of them are occupied. So joining you at the inn that you may encounter at varying points, he says, rapidly finding his notepad. So we have a chap from overseas, black hair, tanned skin, lots of fairly lightweight clothing, and not particularly well suited to the sort of the lack of warm temperature, given the height that Middenheim is at, on top of a very rocky plateau. But nevertheless, a fairly amiable chap. Seems to be in search of knowledge as much as anything else. There is a... Funny enough, I mentioned clerics and priestesses of Shalia earlier. There is one such staying here at the inn. Very pleasant person.
If we get in a fight.
Remind me, as someone who basically still keeps forgetting about Warhammer, Shalia?
Healing.
Priestess of Healing?
Yeah, goddess of healing,
Right.
basically. Goddess of
goddess.
fluffy bunnies, healing, ice cream, and other nice things.
Oh God, keep her, if she's goddess of fluffy bunnies, keep her away from...
And probably Care Bears too.
They're not as effective as ferrets.
How
She's
do you
patron goddess of
know?
special snowflakes.
How often? Yeah, it's... And any beeping is not me.
Have you seen the wonderful look of the Care Bear 1,000-yard stare?
Well, they don't care
There
then.
is also a very large chap, doesn't say much, built like a mountain, really. As far as you can tell, he's from sort of the Kislev area. Occasionally has come back a couple of nights bruised and battered, but doesn't seem too bothered about it.
There is an arena in Middenheim. It's entirely possible that he is visiting it. Or it could just be that he likes the rowdier type of pub. I can confirm that the bleeping is definitely not me because I've just quit Discord.
Yeah, I've just done the same.
As have I.
But yes, I had all my servers muted. It isn't me.
Someone's Discord's going mad.
Someone's
Yeah.
Discord is going mad. I have no
Mine's
idea.
shut down entirely.
And there is another, again, female resident of the inn. Keeps very much to herself. Other than the fact that you know her name is Ludovika. That's it. That's all you know.
Ludvika.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fairly sort of average, high, average build, blonde, kind of an ash blonde hair. Would blend into a crowd wonderfully. And that they are the people here. The innkeeper, his name is Ezio. His daughter Sophia,
Okay.
and as I said, the barmaid that's helping him out is Inga. And they are the people you encounter most in day-to-day as you come to and from around town. Now, I
Can I
gather that
just very quickly make a complaint about the term barmaid? She is a member of staff like any other, and it is absolutely unfair to refer to her as a barmaid. We don't even know if it's accurate. Bar person will suffice, thank you.
Okay, Discord is still going mad.
whose Discord is still going?
Davkas thinks it's you.
Mine's
It can't be me. I don't have Discord open.
Is your Discord just
Open.
minimized?
If
No,
it's
I killed it
minimised,
from the
then-
tray bar.
Okay, that's
Why?
bizarre. Apparently nobody's running Discord, and yet somehow we're still getting Discord sleeps. That's a good one.
What? I went from the task manager.
Yeah,
I
but
know
no,
it's dead.
Well, no, actually, I went for the system tray, but
Yeah, wasn't having it from the system tray, so I closed it from the task manager.
Despite the fact that Steam is muted, I shall kill Steam just in case that's trying to bleep at me.
It could be. It's just too damn popular, that's the problem.
And still it's there.
bleep.
Where the bloody hell did that come from?
So this is Hint Plays Discord.
Apparently
Yeah.
so.
It occurs to me that actually it has to be yours, Knight, because you're the only person.
Oh,
whose desktop
God, hang
sound
on.
Is being
Hang
routed.
on.
It's on the laptop, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, because you're the only one whose desktop sound is going through VC, so it has to be you. Nobody else can come across unless it's
Good
across their
point,
microphone.
yes.
It's
The only
first
reason
time
I
I've had
closed
the laptop
mine is
on
because I
stream, yeah.
panicked. I'd left something open that I shouldn't have done in voice meter.
Yes.
Apologies, folks, that was indeed me. I was looking at the PC, but no, I've got the background music running through my laptop. That's where it was discording from.
Yeah.
God, sorry,
Yeah.
folks.
Oh, so there we
So
go.
having established that the Empire has very strange sounding cicadas,
Yes! So I can play sleep sounds and I can get
you can hear
cicadas
them.
off there.
blipping outside the tavern as we sit and have a drink.
Or it could even be the band in the tavern.
It could be.
They're into
you know.
some weird trance. Probably chaos. Let's kill them.
Heretic.
Chaos is not a problem. I mean, obviously chaos has been a problem in the past, but bear in mind that this is a time of peace. There is no chaos. Mutants are not a thing. They do not exist. Chaos mutants officially do not exist. There was a proclamation by the Emperor quite recently stating that they do not exist. Yes,
Yeah, but that's
really.
what he would say, wouldn't it?
This
Well, I
is.
don't know.
I can find you the player handout if you want from the beginning of the Enemy
Sort of-
Within campaign,
yeah.
which includes the proclamation given by the Emperor that there are no such things as mutants, and declaring it a crime to punish people for their deformities.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah, and unless Knight has decided to go somewhere slightly different with this campaign, the default in Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay First Edition is that chaos is in the past. Mutants do not exist. Everything is good and lovely. If you for any further problems you may be experiencing are entirely your own.
Is this Brunhilde kind of covering up the one-armedness?
No, this is actual information available
It's all right, yeah.
Okay.
commonly throughout.
Brunhilde is not a mutant. She had an accident.
Yes.
Look, mutants could have had accidents too, just different kinds.
Brunhilde, there was an
Just think
accident.
yourself lucky that mutants officially don't exist, or she'd probably be campaigning for mutant rights.
Yes, I can't help thinking Brunhilde's
Chaos
accident
mutants are people like everybody else. It is totally unfair to judge them always by the way they look.
may have involved, I don't know, a pell, a longsword, and some blind fighting training.
So, having been in town a couple of days, I'm guessing you've been looking for pit fights to sort of get into the league, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. It's the swing.
Gonna fight through the qualifiers first. It takes forever.
You seen her picture? I think she could probably be the qualifiers.
For anybody on the Hint Plays channel interested in said picture, you can actually see it. To the left of me are Brunhilde and Lenore. I don't have anyone else on there, unfortunately, because when I set this up, those were the only two graphics I had. So.
Yes,
We've
anybody
got
on my
those two.
channel. I do indeed have Lenore on my character sheet. As
And
well.
indeed for anyone on my channel, you can also see Lenore.
Yeah.
Let's move her right underneath Drut, so it's absolutely clear that this is Drut's character.
Yeah. I would, however, also like to point out she's only 5'5", so although she is quite big and impressive, she's only big and impressive standing next to Brunhilde.
Yeah. Who is 4 foot, which is big and impressive for a halfling.
Exactly.
Or at least a female one.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, she's way taller than either Merry or Pippin.
So, in sounding things out, people are surprisingly, given that Middenheim's a fairly big city, slightly cagey that someone's asking about pit fights.
Huh.
And then, of course, we need to set some up.
Yeah, I think we need the mouthy ones to get out there and drum me up some fights.
Whereas it's not that they're illegal, because they're not. They're a fairly common and well-accepted thing, but people are cagey, definitely.
Why are people allergic to having reasonable fights? Perfectly reasonable combat. I mean, there's healers in this city.
It'll be nobles.
Nobles.
Maybe they just don't think they're strong enough to take you.
Could it be, I don't know, something to do with that big fellow over there?
Erdith, I hardly think, with me being new in town, that this is anything to do with me. Obviously, there's some kind of congenital cowardice in the city. Well, we're going to have to drum that out of them.
Oh, what's it, that pugilation? Yeah.
You're just making words up now.
Look, I can't help it if I don't speak proper.
Especially
And
you're
yet,
muted.
you don't sit in... And yet, you just don't sit in on those elocution lessons. Like
No,
I
no.
recommended.
I say, though, you've got to be proud where you come from.
Well, I can understand that you'd want all the comforts you could get.
Famous, my place is. Famous it is. Famous.
Infamous, in fact, one might even say.
Could say that.
Is Brunhilde back in the game, or is Fishy still muted?
Still? We can't hear
Muted.
you.
That's weird.
Yeah. I can see Fish talking away, but I couldn't hear a damn thing.
Have you knocked the button on the cable of the headset? Just asking.
Perhaps the dark gods see fit to have corrupted his means of campaigning.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think
I know
it's
he's
just-
not using that microphone, but also I also know Windows and VC shuffle everything round.
I think Brunhilde's having a bit of a stunned silence.
Yeah, well, clearly this means that she's terribly ill.
It'll cure that.
Yes, a good
You
fight.
mean that...
A good apple.
We have a fish.
Okay, so changing nothing brought me back.
How bizarre.
I was just apologising to people on the Hint Plays channel because, of course, they couldn't understand a word you just said because I was opening up the audio-video settings on VC, which screws with your sound.
Yeah, true.
I haven't changed one. I've just opened it. Apparently that brought me back.
Well,
I'm
welcome
also
back.
assuming that I went out absolutely fine over the Hint Plays channel and that they could hear everything I was saying despite the fact that you couldn't.
Which would be
It
equally
was
strange.
obviously VC that had a fit.
Okay.
That wouldn't surprise me. VC is
You
still
This
more
is
reliable than
okay.
Skype.
Yeah, but it does occasionally have a turn. Okay, so yeah, basically, we need a fight. We really need a fight, and Leonard needs to start paying attention to his elocution lessons because all his dropped T's and D's are frankly painful. He's
Yeah,
never
but it
going
makes
to better
you look more
himself.
proper, didn't it?
Look, it's not his fault that your language has too many unused and unnecessary consonants.
We
That's
have
a what?
exactly
I mean,
the
you've
correct
just got them
number.
littered about all over the place where they ain't needed.
There are no unnecessary consonants. There is no such thing. We've had this argument before.
There bloody is, you know.
Just because you've simplified your language down, I suppose down, you know, to fit the...
I will have you know that Old World that I've spoken in the mood is the definitive version of the tongue.
And you have the literary evidence to prove it, no doubt.
Personally, on my person at this time, no, I do not actually, because I don't carry that with me.
Is there no leaflet?
I'm not on that. Oh, I actually haven't got a leaflet on that. I'll get some printed. They'll be printed in Middenheim.
See, I don't like reading books because they're too long, but leaflets, great.
Leaflets are fine.
Lots of pictures
The
too.
leaflet is the ultimate form of literature because it is exactly the right length. It's a length that people can actually read without getting bored.
Perhaps we should take to the streets. I'm pretty sure we can find something out there.
What about we poke the big fella? He looks down for a fight.
Oh,
He? Who?
That big chap.
That one over there, the Kislevite
Yeah.
fella.
If he's Kislevites, does this mean he's going to spend his entire time doing backflips over the heads of everybody in the entire thing?
That's entirely possible.
God, they're annoying.
I'm surprised
It looks
you
like
didn't
he's
go
been
into
poked a few
tirade.
times already, to be honest.
I'm surprised you didn't go into a tirade about circus stereotypes of Kislev.
then maybe you'll have some experience, give you a good fight.
He certainly looks like he's done a couple of rounds recently. Yeah, his black eye. God knows how many times that nose of his has been broken. It's a very odd shape.
Okay,
Probably already a couple of wounds down. You've got a head start on him.
don't say
I mean,
things
don't
like
start
that.
it in the tavern, of course, you know, because that would just be not nice.
I'm
No.
just checking
No,
my
if you're going to pick a
wounds.
fight, go and do it in another tavern. Not the one where we're trying to live.
I'd do it in as big an area as possible because then there's more people.
Absolutely.
I'm
we
just
need
wondering why
to-
my wounds apparently are -2, not +2.
Probably a typo on the GM's part.
That's alright. Can I change it? No, I can't. Okay, that's one for future reference then.
Can you not change the advance scheme on your own character?
No.
They show -2 when I'm looking at your character.
It's
plus 2 rather than
7 +2, current 5.
Oh,
Ooh. So it's not actually changing the advance scheme, it's the current value. How on earth have you managed that?
Everything else that's had an advance is fine.
Can I also just point out, I know we were having a spot of bother earlier on getting you your character. Can I just point out that according to Fantasy Grounds, you're not here.
No, I'm
In the
not.
top left, it shows the characters, and
Yeah.
you're not there.
Yeah, I'm down as a server character.
yeah, you
Double
haven't
click
claimed
on the character in the...
Owned
Yeah, I've
by
just done it
Buttercup.
again. Yeah,
Now you're here.
yeah.
Now we're
I
sorted.
had done that already. Right, that's
Yeah.
better. Oh, so that's
Teething troubles of a new virtual desktop
Okay, yeah, that's
or
better.
tabletop.
That is better.
Is
I mean, if you want, I'll go and ask the big fella.
yeah, is he sat on his own at the table?
He is sat on his own. He's got. I mean, to be honest, it looks like he's drinking from a shot glass, despite the fact that you know full well it's a pint tankard. He's really got this sort of massive hands. He's got to be at least 7 foot tall. This guy.
Ah, brilliant. I shall wander over quite openly and take a seat at his table, slamming my arm down on the desk. Ah, good sir.
1.8 Brunhilde's.
He looks at you.
You look like the fighting type. Would you care to take on our fair Lenore over here? I'll wager you a gold you can't beat her in combat.
He looks at you very quizzically, almost like he doesn't understand a single word you said.
Almost. Dear. Speckency Imperial?
Brunhilde starts shuffling through her leaflets, realizing that she's going to have to make Erdith read the one about the evils of gambling again, because it clearly didn't sink in.
Apparently we're out to make everybody else better themselves.
That's what
Well,
I always do,
I'm an
isn't it?
agitator.
Yeah, you're an agitator and I'm just out to make everybody speak properly.
I'll look towards him. I'll politely, as politely as you can, I guess. Take my blade slowly from its my dagger slowly.
Hello,
and
would you like a fight? Here's my knife. Oh my god!
point towards Grunhilde, not Grunhilde. Point towards Lenore with the, with said blade, and indicate towards him like A.
Oh,
That woman over there who's smaller than your tankard of ale. Go and have a fight with her.
Lenore is a woman, by the way. Just in case people keep forgetting this fact. Oh, because she's been called a
That's
fellow
where
at
you're
least
pointing.
twice.
Locks eyes on Lenore.
Who is currently
Nods.
face palming hard enough to put her hand through the back of her skull. Why do we let you be the mouth again?
As he's
dear.
looking at you, Lenore, he raises his tankard.
I think he either wants me to get him a drink, or he wants a drink, or he wants to drink with me. It's hard to tell. Or possibly he wants to smash his tankard over my head.
Maybe he wants to drink your blood.
Oh,
Mistaking
thanks!
the fateful nod to be towards Leonard, then he's going to walk up to the bar, request again a pint of ale for the gentleman, and have the bar have what was his name? I didn't write down.
Ezio?
Ezio. Give him another tankard, and I'll smile my wonderful,
Oh, God.
disjointed, toothy grin.
Oh no.
Ezio looks at you. He's not elderly. He's in his sort of probably late 40s, early 50s. Yeah, but whatever he's gone through in life, it's aged him. He looks fairly well weary and haggard, and definitely looks older than his years. He looks at you. I would be careful with that one. He is trouble. But he doesn't bring his trouble here, and I like it that way.
Well, that's fine. I don't want no trouble here either, Squire. Alright, so it's all good.
Nudge,
All right.
Give me your drink.
Say no more.
Oh god, we're going to die in our first session.
We're never going to meet a plot hook. We're just going to die in an encounter with a random NPC
yeah.
in the tavern. It's all good.
You know, for all that you sound like Robinson, there's also this kind of spiritual twinning as the getting people into trouble front.
He has not yet run off and got us attacked by mutant twiglets.
Yet.
So,
You said there were no mutants.
Give it time.
that was a different game. There was definitely mutants in that.
Yep.
And he serves you your ale in a new mug and gives that to you.
I will pass it on to the Kislevite.
I'm headed over to the Kislevites table because essentially I now feel the need to possibly undo any damage that Erdith has done by pulling a knife on him. Greetings, sir.
Shit.
Meow.
That's not very nice, is it? Asking someone to do that right here.
said sit.
Oh, right, sorry. Must be the accent.
Uh-huh. Well, since you asked so nicely, I shall do so, allowing myself plenty of space to push the stall back as soon as, anything kicks off, so I've got room to
Eva.
move. So,
Eva.
Ivan, Lenore, you
Leonard.
I gather you're a professional pugilist.
Fight.
Yes, that works.
You'll have to forgive my wordy friend here. She unfortunately speaks a strange version of the language that the rest of us have a spot of bother with on occasion. She seems to think that it's necessary to put in long words and utterly unneeded consonants all over the place.
We're going to have
I'm Brunhilde, by the way.
Ivan studies intently, and you can see him concentrating really, really hard while looking at Brunhilde, and then looks straight to you, somewhat quizzically.
She's a family friend. An obligation. So, I am something of a professional fighter myself. I've been looking for, bouts, but there doesn't seem to be anything around. You look like you've managed to find some recently.
Fight's closed.
Right. Any idea why?
About time too.
Enough.
Come on, fights are
Missing
good for
fighters.
everyone involved.
So,
Missing fighters.
That is almost
Missing
never
fighters.
true, Edith.
sorry. If fighters are missing, then surely they should want more fighters in order to replace the missing ones. I take it they've not simply fled from cowardice.
No one knows.
No one knows. So,
They vanish.
in order for the fights to restart, and for those of us involved in pugilistic activities to start making some honest coin, not giving side-eye to Erdith or Leonard, but really, really trying hard.
My apologies, that was my dog snoring.
I thought for a moment it was the Kism fight.
Similar sound.
I think I might need to go and talk to that priest. Got a bit of a rumbling in my stomach.
When you say vanish, do you mean vanish poof, or vanish gone, or vanish bloodied sheets left behind, clearly been eaten by somebody? I mean,
No, let me
Vanish.
translate. Let me
They
translate.
book
for you.
fights. They not show.
okay. Who are they, just out of curiosity?
Now that is a
Missing
particularly loaded question.
In this context, in this city, who are they?
There were official pits to fight in. They closed until fighters found.
Right. So if we can
Well-
find the fighters, then we can open up and everybody can have a fight and we can make some money.
Yes,
Excellent. So,
we find fighters. We make money.
excellent idea. So, just out of curiosity, who would one be talking to if one were in the market to locate missing fighters? I mean, also presumably there's some kind of bounty involved over and above the benefits of simply getting in and having some healthful exercise in an arena.
I not know a bounty on finding fighters. I know fights closed. I drink.
Who were
Drink.
perfectly reasonable. Yes, they're well in the mo. So, just out of curiosity, then, who would we speak to who might know whether or not there's a bounty on finding the missing fighters? Who
Speak to
would
City Watch.
City
Watch knows.
Watch?
I don't like them.
No, they're not my favourite people.
Haven't been friendly to me either.
Or do you expect you're a foreigner?
Hey, I resemble that remark.
How is it I am the only one who's not got a problem with authority in this game, when normally I'm the one playing the thief?
I say this as a Stimogenite. They've treated me badly as well. I mean, I'm the picture of the perfect citizen, but they treat me like I'm some kind of beggar. I mean, they're right, but they treat me like it.
No, you have a picture of a perfect citizen. I've seen you cuddle it at night.
I told you that in secret.
And if their husband ever finds out, you'll be in deep trouble. Okay.
So are you people seriously suggesting we talk to the authorities about this?
I'm
course not.
thinking that there's money to be made in a couple of different directions, potentially.
There is more to life than money.
Okay.
There is respect and freedom and basic civil rights that we are being denied on a daily basis by exactly the people you want to talk to.
Okay.
Yeah, but hold on.
Oh.
Right? Because we can buy civil rights.
No, you can't. You can buy a patent and ability which gives you certain rights, mainly the right to lord it over everybody else and be just as big a unpleasant person as the lot that we've got at the moment. But that is not the same thing.
Well, but this guy's big and he's alright.
I have no response to that.
Okay. How about this, Brunhilde? If we find and return these fighters, thus reopening one of the biggest forums for public gatherings in any major metropolis, then surely, A, that's gratitude of the people, giving a good leg up to those who might wish to address said people with them having goodwill.
Bread and circuses, my friend, bread and circuses. It is a tool of the oppressor.
It is, and unfortunately,
Which is
it's
why
a tool
I
that
keep
works.
telling you to stick to the back alleys.
I mean, we could always...
Going to insist on fighting, do it in farmyards and back alleys. Do it away from the official places. Don't support the man.
I'm not supporting the man. I'm very much looking to support this woman.
I'd just like to say that those that tend to support the man tend to have more stuff on them.
Drum up some street fights. That could do the job.
There you
Well,
see,
maybe
now
that's it. Yeah, there we go.
an idea.
Let's go and ask the City Watch to drum us up some street fights.
We can usually find street fights easily enough. All we have to do is just, go to street. Normally does it.
Okay, if there are people of a certain degree of competency who are vanishing, then the City Watch is already going to be on an alert. If the City Watch is concerned and nervous, we know what nervous guardsmen tend to do. They tend to hit things first. And they start at the bottom and work up. So they'll start with you, Brunhilde.
They start arresting foreigners, yeah. Especially small ones with only one arm.
Exactly. So
An easy target, that's what they see that as.
we need to
Patch
use...
her mace, they're bloody wrong though.
We need to use the tools of the oppressor to get you a fair hearing and keep you out of jail. Do I actually have... What is my fellowship? Well, it's not bad, okay.
Let
pretty
me
good.
follow this right. So we go and talk to the blokes that can put us in jail to keep Brunhilde out of jail.
Exactly. Absolutely.
I think you may have taken a couple too many blows to the head.
I never take this to
However,
the head.
if you people are determined that we need to look into this, we'll go and look into it.
Well, I've got to admit, right, those fighters are just people trying to do a job. And they're
Aye,
common as
they
any
are.
one of us. So if we help them out, we still are helping out the common person.
Mm-hmm.
But we're doing more help to the people they represent. But we'll worry about that later, since you all seem quite determined.
Well, I would just like to make an honest living.
We can make a plenty honest living. Look, Lenore, you just...
All
How would
right,
you
I
know?
agreed to look into it. You shut up now.
When have you ever been in the same tree as an honest living?
Look, you just dress down a little, go out into the streets, goad some fights from the commoners. Our Leonard here takes the bets.
Again, not seeing the honest part here.
They honestly wanted to fight you. They honestly thought they could win.
Oh, you think I should fight the delusional? Good, good, excellent. Right. I would wonder what's the quickest way to find the City Watch, but I have a horrible feeling you've just actually itemised it. You go into the streets and you start asking for fights.
To be fair, the section of town of city that you're in, you haven't seen a whole lot of the watch.
Yeah. That's odd.
If I just moved, actually, you know what? I've got another picture of the map. It would be, I think, this one. Yeah. So let's share this one out to you. So you see where it says Alt Market and Alt Quartier, down in the sort of eastern
Alt
edge of the
Oh,
city,
yeah.
Yeah.
just
Alt
below the
Market.
Great Park.
Alt Quartier.
You're in there. That's it. You're kind of in the outmarked side, near the Great Park, but not quite on the edge.
Okay.
Now, that area, from what you can see, having been around the city a little bit, is definitely the rougher side of town, so to speak. When you have seen the city guard, they've been in number, and reasonably well reinforced number at that.
Oh, that's worrying.
Whereas walking elsewhere around the city, a patrol is maybe one or two city guard and not much else, except in the Alt Quarter.
Right. So, ideally, I think we need to find someone with a bit of authority. Which means
Well-
actually bearding the watch in their den, so to speak.
I'm suggesting we take these street fights over to the watch.
Oh, hold on a second. Ezio.
Possibly focused on the street fight.
with
You're
all-
heading back to the bar to talk to Ezio.
Yes, I'll head back to the bar. Sorry,
Okay.
Ezio. Do you know what's going on instead of the fights? Because people want entertainment, and if there's no fights going on,
I did hear I suppose you would call it a rumour, that a number of the up-and-coming fighters had disappeared.
right? Do you know, out of interest, do you know, like, what's going on in terms of like what people are going to? Because I know plenty of folks will come out to watch a pit fight. If there's no pit fights, then
But to be honest, I don't know.
right.
I think there may be some unrest in the streets because people are bored. Certainly the guard have been busier of late.
Anything downwind from the Great Park?
The guard don't come down here much. This section of town has its problems, but we are safe here. I have mechanisms in place to see to that.
Thanks, Ezio. You're a star. I'm gonna walk back to our gathering with the larger gentleman.
Okay.
Star, or is he in fact a twin-tailed comet?
Yes, I'm just wondering about the mechanisms in place. I'm just wondering if that involves protection money. The
In
moment
this
I'm
game, it could literally be mechanisms. You could have all kinds of spring-loaded blades and shutters and God knows what around this place.
Could be worse, could be the mechanism.
Probably built by unknown.
I nearly misheard you then. My brain just rerouted that to none.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
Or one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a priest over there.
Can we go with a gnomish nun?
It's priestess. It's a female.
Yeah.
Assuming you mean the
The priestess of Shalia.
priestess
Yeah.
Shelia. Yep.
Princess of Shalalaldingdong.
Sat in the corner, sort of almost absent-mindedly, playing on the lute.
Okay, so she's into music. Are you into music? Erdith.
I play a few instruments.
Yeah, I'm sure I have heard you playing around a bit.
I can sing.
Why don't you go and play around with the Priestess of Shalia?
Actually,
they
no,
not
I'll
have
tell you what, I'll come along,
vowels
Erdith, because I've got this
against that?
weird crick in my elbow, and she might be able to help.
I'm just thinking, if you're all scared of the voices of authority and such, last I checked, Priestess of Shalia, they were sort of, nice.
I am not scared of the authorities.
I didn't say
I am wary of the authorities. I am opposed to the authorities, but I am not, under any circumstances, scared of the authorities. Were I scared, I would have taken up a safer line of work.
No.
I'm scared of the authorities.
No, you wouldn't. I know you would have been there throwing your defiance in the face of whoever you worked for anyway.
Aye, because I'm not scared.
I didn't say you were scared. However, not everybody has your moral fibre.
Well, no.
Case in point.
Almost
Sorry,
nobody.
Sorry, I have a question. What is Erdith's hair colour?
Oh, it is light brown. He is a very average elf.
Okay.
Yes, Lenore doesn't have any.
Any hair or any average elves?
Hair.
or any moral fibre.
Hair,
Or any
however,
moral fibre, yeah.
yeah, thank you. I did, however, decide that her hairstyle is not forced upon her. It's one she maintains because long hair and grabby hands in a pit fight are a bad combination.
I did wonder if that might be the...
So Lenore is opposed to grabby hands, and yet wonders why she's single.
I don't think she's ever wondered why she's single.
And yet wants me to go and play around with a priestess.
Again.
Or was it
The
Lenore
grabby
who
hands will
actually
be
rolled
pointed
as
at her.
having a family?
Lenore has a hubby.
Yeah, I just suddenly remembered that.
Yes, Lenore has an
Who is a
estranged
marine,
husband.
if I remember rightly.
Sorry?
Who is a marine, if I remember rightly.
Exactly, yes.
Presumably that's where she acquired her dislike of grabby hands.
Well, it's the way she
Entirely
just
possible.
acquired her like of the #1 haircut.
Completely bald is a bit further than the number one.
Yeah, she's got the full Picard.
Now, I would gladly play alongside the priestess over there. However, I appear to have left all of my instruments in the last town. We did have to leave in a bit of a hurry.
Maybe
Are
you
we-
can borrow hers.
Are we suffering slightly from lack of gear? Is that just that you've got money to spend and you didn't spend it, or you don't have the money
That is
to
actually
buy
a very good
instruments?
point. Yes, we may well have. Yes, because thinking about it, we didn't actually do any shopping with
we
the character
got the
creation.
basic career gear, but we
Yeah.
don't.
We didn't go any further.
Yeah, we didn't go shopping, did we? No. Not that I can buy a lot for my 12 gold crowns, to be honest.
Well, I suppose
12.
we're in a market area. We can go shopping there.
You're all of
Yeah,
12.
this is true.
12.
12.
12. Good lord.
Hang on a moment while I go and locate
I
a
have
book
no
with
idea
a
how much
price
I've got.
list in it.
And the market's going to be filled with plenty of people with lots of money. And a good few of them, I'll bet, will be buying things used for fighting, which means they may well be amicable fighters themselves.
Are you saying I should perhaps start fighting people while they're shopping?
No, I'm suggesting we allow them a means of testing their new equipment.
Well, Erdith, I tell you, if you've got a lot of money on you, we need to split it so you're a less attractive target. So if you leave some of the money to me, I'll keep it safe. I mean, who would think to rob a beggar?
That is a
Another
very good.
beggar?
That is a very good point indeed. Perhaps you can take on the role of taking the bets from those around us. You know, they'll never suspect a thing.
Oh god.
Look,
It's not like we're expecting them to win anyway.
Well, no. Not
How loud are
normally.
you having this discussion?
I'm not attempting to conceal it in any way, shape, or form. So if other people are being quiet, Leonard's definitely being loud.
Okay.
We found out why Leonard is not actually all that effective as a
You know,
covert
the
street
Priestess of
thief.
Shelley stops playing and walks over to you. Looking straight at Erdit. I gather you are a musician,
I play.
but have had to leave your instruments behind.
Indeed, a most unfortunate loss.
That is indeed unfortunate.
It was,
Would you like to play mine for the evening?
well, that would be fantastic.
And she hands you her lute.
Is
Behind
it,
the priestess's back, Brunhilde winks broadly at Lenore.
Side bet?
Sorry, what's your name?
Matilda,
Oh, hello, Matilda. Have you got a moment? I've got this thing with my elbow.
have you hurt yourself?
Well, it's easy to do so in my line of work.
And what is your line of work?
Leonard, are you
She
really
the
sure?
like, gestures you to sit down beside her, and
Oh, thank you.
as you're talking, reaches out, takes hold of your hand, and sort of straightens out your arm and starts sort of assessing bits that may or may not be tender around your elbow, with the moves of a practiced physician.
Careful there, Leonard. If you get too much done, you'll be out of work.
I'm keeping an eye on Leonard. I want to make sure his hands go nowhere near anywhere she might be holding something valuable.
Brunhilde's keeping an eye on Erdith, because he is holding something valuable if he's borrowed that loot.
Yeah.
I'll strum a delicate elven tune as she does her work.
I thought you were rubbish.
I am.
Ah, good to know.
Would
you
you
just-
get to make a musicianship roll?
Oh, God.
Certainly. Where would I find that? Let's see. Ah, here it is. Do I just drag it?
Now, Fishy worked out how to do the rolling, so
Oh, that's
I'm not
magical
entirely sure.
sense. Whoops.
I know how to roll on one of your stats. What would musicianship be rolled on?
Fellowship, I believe. I'll just double check. Again, I was in a rush and didn't.
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, how do you roll on one of your stats, Fish?
Double click on the current box.
Ah, okay.
Ah, there we are. Huzzah! I shall twang
By
loudly.
miles!
Oh my God.
I shall
If you
twang
can find a
loudly.
roll.
And,
I'm confused as to quite
70
what
10.
it thought it was doing, though, because that's very odd.
Yeah?
Yeah, that
Oh,
should
yeah,
be
that's-
70, not 80.
Yeah. It's
It
rolling.
rolled 70-10 instead of 70-0.
it did.
Basically, that second D10 there, that should be
A 0.
a 0 to 9.
Yeah.
Let me
Oopsie.
just make a quick couple of test rolls here and make sure that the only problem is I've got to wait until I
You
get
roll
a
a 10.
Yeah.
a 10 on the other one to be sure. Pretty sure that this is not a flaw in fantasy
There you
grounds.
go.
It must be a flaw.
I got it, yeah. 80,
Oh,
80 and 10.
Inevitably.
Yeah, you
So
both
yeah, it
did
is
at the same
actually a
time.
flaw in the percentile system in fantasy grounds, by the way.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
good thing to
fantasy
find on
grounds
your...
too. How long have
Whoops.
you had this error, and why has nobody noticed it?
Yeah.
Well,
Is it in Fantasy Grounds or is it in the way that's been implemented for this
Well,
community-built module?
yeah, I mean, I would have thought. I mean, this is just we've just been rolling. Well, I've just been rolling. The one that came up as a fail was actually done as a roll through the character sheet, wasn't it? So yeah, it
Yeah.
didn't actually help with my test.
Sorry.
I'm just trying to test the fantasy grounds built-in percentile to make sure.
Oh, so 2d10, yeah?
You just need to. Well, while Fishy keeps on rolling,
I'll keep doing this while you
Yes.
guys carry on role playing.
So I'll strum loudly and out of tune.
No,
Somehow,
it wasn't my mistake.
somehow taking possession of this loot has detuned the entire thing.
Detuned is not a word. I don't care what you say.
Well,
It's the elven equivalent of Harrison Burt whistle.
well, it seems that no matter how terrible your playing is, it hasn't distracted Matilda in any way, shape, or form. She doesn't even bat an eyelid at the terribleness of your playing, as she looks on at Jick's elbow.
She's obviously heard him play before.
Why is there a 00? Oh no, you need it in the other one. Okay, never mind, ignore me.
Leonard, did you say your name was?
It's actually
yes,
Fantasy
Leonard.
Grounds.
So it is.
I just rolled a 10 and it adds it as 20. The D
Whoa.
percentile in Fantasy Grounds
Shut up.
apparently doesn't work.
Whoops. That's one that possibly should have been picked up
Yeah.
at some point.
Well, if we clip that, we can take it back to Fantasy Grounds and say, you might want to look at this.
It may still be down to the way this rule set implements. There may be a setting somewhere to determine whether that second die is 0 to
Yeah.
9 or
0
1
to
to
9
10.
or 1 to, yeah.
But even that actually should only affect what 00 comes out as.
Yeah.
And that was a 00 that I rolled there, so that should either be 0 or 100. It should never be 20.
No.
That's actually completely wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Yes!
Yay! We found out how to break it.
Software.
We can break systems.
How is? What is this, and how can I break it?
Yep.
We can
So-
rename Hint Plays to Hint Breaks.
Yes.
So I pop into my my first Hint Plays tabletop and roll my first die and immediately break the system.
Yep. Yep. 90. There. Yeah. I was just.
You break the very nature of mathematical reality.
So, Leonard, this is going to get confusing with Lenore and Leonard. I am going to get you cross-named at some point.
That's
so
all
I
right.
apologise in advance.
No, it's going to get even worse because I'm going to start abbreviating both of them to Len. I'm going to call them both Lenny. That's it. It's Lenny and Lenny.
Oh, good lord. I can see
And I'm
how
going to
many
expect
ways
people
that
to
can
know
go.
who I'm talking about.
Are you indeed? Short
See, that's
ass.
fine. As long as it's not Leo, it's always a Leonard.
So, Leonard, so she starts sort of probing and manipulating the elbow and massaging it slightly. And after sort of 5 or 10 minutes, it actually does start to feel a bit better.
Doing you some good.
And as she finishes, she says, rest your arm, don't do anything in terms of exertion, no sword fighting, no sports, no activities
Well, that'd be
that
easy.
would affect the elbow at all. And she reaches into her pouch and gives you a smaller pouch with some tablets in. Says, take one of those every morning. That will help.
Thank you, thank you.
He's giving them the
Well,
drugs.
we're buggered now. Len's just been told not to engage in any exertion, like he ever did anyway.
Yes. Okay. Once she's finished with him, Lenore is going to sidle over. Actually, no, Lenore doesn't sidle. Stroll.
Stroll
There's
purposefully.
too many people who sidle in this party. It's a party of sidlers. Sidle hands.
So
Ouch.
everyone else sidles, and you just homicidal, do you?
If the hat
Omnicidal.
fits.
Men,
Nothing
women,
will move a
animals.
chickpea.
Okay, so I'm going to stroll over to Matilda.
She greets you with a warm smile. Please, join me.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
I've just been chatting to our taciturn companion over there, Ivan. And he tells me that apparently all the fight arenas are closed at the moment. Apparently there's been some disappearances.
So I hear, yes. Ivan is... I think he's been staying here at the Grey Lord longer than I have. And I think... It's difficult to tell. He doesn't speak our language that fluently. And I don't speak his...
that. I
at all.
totally understand where you're coming from on that.
But
yeah.
I gather he is a pit fighter of some success, although not enough to afford better lodgings. And that I have certainly tended to him after several of his fights. But I do know that for the last week, maybe, he hasn't been fighting.
So, I mean, who would I speak to were I wanting to look into, fighters who've gone AWOL?
You want to look for the missing fighters?
Well, you see, the fights are also my business. And by extension, all these people have a part to play in big crowds as well. And,
I see. These are your retinue.
Exactly.
She is a lackey of the oppressive state. Albeit a freelance one.
I say.
Well, you can see I've got a lot of work to do to civilise the other orders. And but I like to think they're coming along nicely for the most part. A few rough edges to be rubbed off.
Can I just ask one question, though? As a representative on Earth of the Goddess of Mercy, how exactly do you, settle yourself when you look at the amount of poverty and degradation in the city around you, about which you and your order are doing absolutely nothing?
Well, I do what I can. I live here on a meagre amount of money. I give what I can.
I will give
to
you.
those
You've
who
just
need
given
it.
3 gold crowns worth of medical attention to Len over there, and not charged him a penny, which was
That is what I do.
damn good of you.
So
I
perhaps
do not refuse those in need.
Yes. So perhaps not being rude to the nice lady would be
And
a
I have
better
just
We're just
Well,
asking a question. I accepted the answer.
The
She's
last-
doing her bit.
Yep,
Thank
the
you on behalf of all the downtrodden, oppressed masses of the
You're more
Empire.
than welcome.
I'm sorry, the last time she asked one of these questions, we were, we had to depart, unfortunately, at the head of an angry mob. A little sensitive,
I see.
yes. And that's there, a little sensitive, not you're a little sensitive. You're a little insensitive.
I'll have you know that for a halfling, I'm very tall.
I believe you. Indeed. I can entirely credit that for one of yours, you are very tall.
I am.
So I understand that the
And it's
Watch
been sold.
have posted missing persons notices on the missing fighters.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen them pinned to posts around the city. Each fighter has a... It feels wrong to call it a bounty, but a reward if they are found and returned.
Like they'd post for a pet dog.
Or indeed a missing person.
Yes, you can.
Right, yeah, more like one for a missing person, you're right. They'd pay more for the dog.
Brunhilde is every arse I've ever encountered on a message board.
That's kind of what I'm going for here, yeah.
Yep. It's just... Oh god.
Can I get a fellowship roll from everyone that is paying attention to Matilda, please?
Okay.
Yes. Succeeded by an awesome margin of
Yes. Made it by 6.
Okay, so those of you that do make it, normally when talking to a member of or a representative of any of the religions, there is unfortunately a certain amount of falseness that goes with paying lip service to their god, making sure that they are seen to be following the right strictures. What you get from Matilda is very much that if it were possible for her to give the clothes off her back to someone that needed them, she would, without even thinking about it.
This woman is well on her way to sainthood.
Pretty much, yeah.
I hate her already.
She just gave unbidden first aid to Len without washing. Or making him wash.
She's even more well on her way to sainthood because she's probably now contracted something that will soon make her a martyr.
Well, there's that.
I resemble that remark.
And she does it all with a genuine smile.
And we love you for your skin conditions, dear.
Well, do you want
We
another
don't
one?
love them.
I think I've got a patch on my thigh here that might help.
No, you're all right there.
You couldn't see it so much when you were across the room from her, because the fire kind of illuminated her with an orangey amber light. But now that you're at the table with her, her hair is practically white,
And this is
and
a
her
problem.
skin's not too far different.
That's probably something she contracted from the last Leonard she healed.
Speaking as somebody possessed of silver hair, I am not throwing stones in anyone's direction on the hair colour front. I've got the freaky deaky hair.
That is one thing that you will have noticed that I completely forgot to mention when I was describing the residents of the tavern and the inn. I do apologise, I should have mentioned this earlier. Sophia, the innkeeper's daughter, has purple eyes,
Okay.
much like yours.
Oh, hello.
But it's alright, there's no such thing as mutants, so neither of you has to worry.
It's the sort of thing that I think might have caught your attention.
Yes.
So
yes.
I thought I'd mention it.
No, that's perfectly reasonable. Oh, shit.
All the while Matilda's talking,
Yep.
Leonard's basically just going to be staring on with a kind of dietetic grin. So, gormless, you know.
Okay. Gormless the thief. Sorry, the footpads. The beggar of the lower orders.
And just under my breath, as kind of thing, I just kind of mumbled like, "Do you bathe in milk?"
I'm sorry? That would seem very exuberant. No, of course not.
Wasteful, I think, is the term you're looking for.
That too, yes.
Well, that depends.
What? You don't drink bath milk?
Drink?
Oh, well, I would
I
do
drink water, I bathe in water.
But just, sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but the skin colour is striking. Very beautiful.
You don't mean to be rude, and yet somehow.
I'm just a bit confused by this whole bathing thing. How do you know what it is?
Well, you know, when it used to be a great feast. You know, the local lord, he would come in, he would have his bath of milk, and then he would chuck it out like he didn't want it anymore. And it's just milk. And it was great. I mean, it was a bit brown in parts, but that's fine.
Tell me you didn't used to eat Bath cheese?
Well, no, it didn't stay long enough in the tub to turn into cheese.
I don't know whether that's a good or intensely disturbing idea.
What an interesting place you come from, Leonard.
He
You might have
does.
heard of it. Well, I come from Stimogen, where they have the apples.
I have heard of Imogen, yes.
I mean, I would give you one, but I kind of ate them all the way here.
It is a long way. I would be surprised if you had any left in that journey.
We're
Well, I
trying
did have
to
one when I first got here, but it was rotten. I was trying to keep it nice, but it didn't work.
Uh-huh. So, these rewards for finding the watchman, she says, trying desperately to drag it back to something approaching replenishing the 10 gold that she has in her pocket.
You said that these rewards have been posted. In the
Yes.
form of posters?
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll see
So-
them on
So if we go to the marketplace, we'll probably find a notice.
in the marketplace and in the
Yeah.
Great Park.
I don't think I can read.
I don't think you can read either, which is why you keep a handy halfling.
A handy halfling.
I just like
Pocket
pictures.
size, see?
A helpful handy halfling.
Well, the thing we're halflings, you see, is they're more portable than human scribes.
Yeah, but less foldable.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, that's going into whole
I mean-
weird areas.
You try folding one against her will and you might have a problem.
Night,
that's
what
just
time
rude.
of day is it?
Well, given that Ivan is on ale rather than anything else, it's probably late evening at this point.
Right. Well, since I don't imagine we'd like to be trawling around outside after dark in a relatively strange city, might I suggest that first thing tomorrow morning we betake ourselves off to the marketplace and Brunhilde can find us some of these reward posters.
Yeah, do some inflation gathering.
And yes, those of you with a talent for talking to the common people probably have a chat with some of them as well.
With the increasing number of
Problem,
people complaining about what I'm doing, I shall hand the loot back to the priestess with its
Yeah.
now very stretched strings that probably need replacing.
I mean, I'm very fond of Lenore, but unfortunately she doesn't want to live like common people. She just doesn't want to do what common people do.
Someone was going to say it had to be fish.
Came from Outdorf, had a thirst for knowledge.
That's the one. No, she had a
Yes.
thirst for blood. We figured that one out.
Oh god.
I'm going to
Everyone
add
tell
that
you-
to my
you-
else had a
sentence
thirst
on
for
Thursday.
violence.
Yeah.
You go ahead. I'm gonna hang out with Matilda for a bit longer if you don't mind.
That's okay.
It's not us who's going to mind, love.
As I'm thinking probably yes, calling it for the evening in the inn, because Brunhilde gets up at ungodly hours, and I do mean that quite literally. Dad was a priest. This is never did I see before midday when I was a kid. Up all night. What can I say? Yes,
Well,
as we head past, Lenore will lean over to
That's my
Len.
father's fault.
Really?
Just, aye. Because your mum, she rolled out of bed at whatever time, middle of the morning. By which point, of course, Dad'd been up for 4 hours already, polishing every piece of armour she owned.
That was it. It was your father was a steward.
It was father. My father was
Yeah,
prior
not
to
the
your
mother.
mother.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Apologies. And no, this doesn't mean that Lenore is half
Because,
halfling.
what a surprise! The common people have to do all the work.
To be fair, your father was well compensated.
Reasonably so. I mean, he had a living. But he
I mean-
worked hard for that living.
He did indeed, and gave you quite a lot, if I recall
There's
correctly.
never been a South Garden as doesn't earn their keep. Unless you count Kirsten.
Kirsten.
Aye, my sister Kirsten.
Uh-huh.
We don't talk about Kirsten.
Okay, I can tell you're not talking about Kirsten by the fact that you didn't talk about Kirsten
Yep.
in order to raise Kirsten.
So, Jick, once Lenore and Brunhilde have headed off nearer their rooms, what's the goal of your staying to talk a little while with Matilda?
It's less talking, and to put it in an analogy, if I said the word barnacle, you would get the kind of what Leonard's going for. I mean, this woman has literally touched him in ways that he's never been touched before, and now he's
Poor guy.
just gonna hang out for a bit, So This is pretty awesome.
If you hassle her past a certain point, I am willing to dislocate that elbow.
I'm not
Just
hassling.
saying.
I'm not hassling. Not saying a word.
Oh, good. Sitting and
Just being
staring.
around.
That's even better.
Less staring, more
there's-
trying to look like not staring. While
There's,
almost.
There's a chap who's never had an uncomfortable conversation in a coffee shop.
Exactly. That's the vibe I'm going for.
So the she's taken back the loot from Erdit and tries to get a tune out of it, but clearly whatever Erdit did to it has really knackered the tuning on it.
God,
And she spends the next couple of hours trying to get this thing back into tune.
Oh
And
God,
all
kill
still
everything
with
we
a smile
touch.
and not even a hint of frustration on her face.
Oh, she's clearly a serial killer.
There's something seriously wrong with that
It
woman.
is, yes. Nobody is that nice naturally. What do they do to you when you become a priestess?
Well, that depends on what religion.
Well, yes.
I've
True.
heard rumours about some of them, I can tell you.
Well, yeah, haven't we all? But, I don't imagine there's much involving, whips in that one. It's just more any sort of normal feelings seem to be
I
extracted.
don't know, because the High Priest would be hushing it all up anyway, probably, wouldn't he? Because that's what they do.
You think?
Well, they do. Everybody knows that.
How?
Remember, a priesthood does something wrong, High Priest hushes it all up,
But if they
pays
hush it
people
all
off,
up,
all that.
if they hush it all up, how does everybody know about it?
Rumour. Nobody can quiet everything, but they make sure there's no evidence, like.
Ah, so there's lots of talk with no evidence to back it up. Excellent.
Aye, because they've hidden all the evidence. They've got rid of it all.
So one day
Maybe
you're
that's
going
what's
to
going on here. Maybe something happened, and all these fighters were witnesses. All these pit fighters. Maybe that's where they've gone. They've all been hushed up.
So, you guys
It'll be
presumably
the
having this discussion on your way up to your room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. I
We know-
suspect this is an ongoing discussion. It's probably one of those that gets revisited on a regular basis.
And I suspect you're stood
Probably.
outside the door to your room, just carrying on the discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Leonard is being a limpet on poor Matilda. And what is Erdit up to?
Erdit shall drink late into the night, enjoying the frivolities of this new town while he's still welcome.
Okay.
God, his poor ferrets.
Well, the frivolities largely revolve around idle conversation between listening to idle conversation between Inga and Ezio, and occasionally Matilda when Inga goes over to get her another drink. Whatever Leonard has to say, if anything, if he can lift his jaw off the floor at all.
Tell me
And
you're not going to get into a drinking competition with Ivan.
Is there anything I hear that particularly stands out or seems like it's worthy of note to me?
Ooh. Do you have any skills around getting information?
Let's have a look. I remember I rolled awful skills.
.com.
I'm feeling it might be Jick that's got the information gathering skills generally.
For the most part, with this game system, everything's pretty much done on attribute rolls, and the skills give you bonuses.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it would probably be fellowship roll.
I was trying to work out whether it be fellowship or
Fellowship roll if you're
intelligence.
trying to talk somebody out of the information.
Yeah, if you're picking
If you're
stuff up, I'm going to
listening
get
for it,
intelligence.
Yeah,
Right,
intelligence seems more
So
likely.
give us an intelligence and then modify with any skills.
Oh, God.
So no would be the answer to that, even if you did have a skill. I'm afraid to say.
Fantastic. So clearly I was informed of many very important things that would be critical to our time here, but I drank too much to remember any of it.
Ivan
Basically,
introduced you
yes.
to a drink from this town. It is called vodka.
Elf, come, drink. It's potato spirit. It's good. Drink.
Oh my God, vodka is potato ghosts.
Oh my word.
Foul chicken magic.
Definitely chicken magic.
Absolutely.
Poor Edit's going to wake up in the morning with a thumping hangover and no memory of anything past giving the loot back to Matilda.
Which, of course, was in perfect condition.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So the evening rolls around, and eventually, much to Leonard's disappointment, Matilda does fairly early in the evening, probably around 10:30, turn in for the night. She's
At
clearly
that point,
not much of a late party goer.
at that point, so will Leonard. He'll retire.
It's just an image of a party priestess of healing.
To be fair, I could find ways to make it work, but just not for this character, not for Matilda.
No, not for Matilda.
It's like,
Matilda.
oh, then.
Melilda? Who the hell's Melilda?
So can I have? Oh, let's go with willpower rolls from everyone, please.
Just out of interest, and I've just made a note of this.
Wow.
The standard tests in the rulebook start on page 66.
Yep.
If you wish to know where to find them. You found them.
Damn, only failed by 4, but still by 5, but they still failed. Oh no, yes, I did. Fail
Oh,
by
I
5.
failed by everything.
Fishy is snoring.
Uh-huh. With that roll, I think Lenore's like me first thing in the morning. Technically mobile, but, you know, unless any caffeine is involved.
So it looks like
That sounds like me for my entire shift.
looks
today.
like Leonard definitely passed,
What?
and
Yeah. What a 4.
Yep, that's definitely a pass.
and also Erdit passed. So to Leonard and Erdit, you are awoken by sound. You're not entirely sure what it is you can hear, but a sound has woken you. And a sound continues. It's kind of like a scuffling, a creak of a door.
Sounds remarkably like someone being kidnapped.
Oh, that's
Not entirely
Ivan. That
unlike
is so
Fish's
Ivan.
chair that you can hear in the background there.
That is so Ivan being kidnapped. Presumably by at least 6 people.
I shall first check on the bag of ferrets, make sure they're all fine.
They are indeed fine.
I'll moan about the rats and turn over.
Okay?
Are you sharing a room?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Have we got enough money to not share rooms? I'm surprised we're not in the common room.
Really? No,
I
I
was
just...
being generous.
Yeah. I am, however, assuming that basically I suspect Erdith and Leonard are sharing a room.
That wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
And Brunhilde and Lenore.
Yeah.
That actually would make sense.
Yeah.
I'm
In which case, I'll make a comment like, your ferrets got out.
no, they seem to be fine.
Oh,
Something's,
shut up, will ya?
I'll head over and listen at the door. Something curious is going on.
Oh, it's just rats.
Okay.
Yeah, we're curious.
You hear a door shut. I wouldn't necessarily say slammed, but certainly with a reasonable force.
That shutting, because obviously that's not like rats, will stir Leonard into action and maybe start kind of like gathering stuff to run.
Okay.
Mostly stuff that isn't his, just to clarify.
I'll crack the door and peer out around the doorway.
Okay, it's dark. The candles are out. Can't really see. You're an elf. You've got night vision, haven't you?
I do, yes.
We've
Right.
all got night vision.
Everybody's
Oh, God,
got- Has Chick?
I don't think
No.
Jick does, no.
I think
Jick
Len
is
would be the only
who
one who
can't see
doesn't then.
dark.
Because Len got night vision. if
Yeah.
he's ill. So if Len doesn't, then that's the only one.
It's
So-
going to get old, Fish.
Adam. Never.
So
Never get
the
old.
inn, as you sort of creak through the door, you can see the banisters that would lead downstairs, but not much else because most of what's in the tavern in the inn is downstairs. Literally upstairs is only rooms. What you can see, thinking about the way things are laid out, 2 doors down, the door is ajar.
Which door is Lenore and Grunhilde holding?
They're off the other way. You wouldn't be able to see their door just creaking your door open a bit.
Righto. No one appears to be in the corridor.
Here,
Nope.
Brunhilde.
I'll
You can hear Brunhilde snoring, definitely.
sneak out. I'll time my steps with Grunhilde's snores to cover my footsteps.
Can I just double check? It is Brunhilde with a B, isn't
Yes.
it? The fish.
Yes, it is.
Just checking.
Okay, Brunhilde. Right.
That's all.
Duly noted. So, if you are being stealthy, can I have a dex roll, please, modified by any stealth skills that you have?
Oh dear.
With
Oh dear.
tread upon the
Can I be doing
feet
some
steer.
concurrently to this, please?
Yep, absolutely. What would you like to be doing?
I'm going to try and hide. Because that elf's going to make a bloody loud noise.
Of the assumption that
not-
they like
specifically-
treading.
Known for
Shut
making
up,
loud
Icarus.
noises. It's got to be said.
Specifically using my urban concealment.
Okay.
Because I'm going
roll
to
it.
keep still, which is a plus 20.
Go for it.
So,
Again, I believe that is done on dex.
Oh,
Wow.
Jesus
Whoa.
wept.
Okay, so
Not done on decks.
Leonard practically vanishes. Whatever skill it's on, an 03 is like disappearing into a shadow, and that's it. No one's going to see
003,
you
yeah.
there.
It'd be whatever a hide test is. Just looking at the
I'm
skill
pretty
tree.
sure that's. Pretty sure that's dex.
Hide test is initiative plus cool minus enemy initiative.
Cool. Okay. Apologies for getting that one wrong.
Right. Dex, you said, yeah?
And
And,
I'm
and
assuming.
sneak is just a straight 30% unless you have skills.
Really?
Given in first edition rulebook, yeah.
is it?
I mean,
Good lord.
feel free to house rule that and go
No,
with
no,
dex.
no. If
Makes
it's,
sense to me, but
if it's a straight 30, it's a straight 30. I'm still
Oh.
trying to find page 66.
Let's
What is this earth thing you call sneaking?
make some noise.
Yeah, definitely failed by over 30%. So
whether the character is heard, refer to the listen tests above, which you get on straight values rather than being on
yeah,
just how
it-
noisy is this, so therefore what chance do people have of hearing it.
it's pretty noisy. You managed to find every creaking floorboard on the way. Even to the point of you step right to the edge of the steps where it should creak next to you.
We could just send
Every-
you to a surveyor in order to find all the dodgy fittings in a house.
Yeah, my modus operandi is that Leonard knows how to move quietly in urban environments, and he saw the elf begin to move and went, "Oh no, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong." Hide.
Stick him in a swamp and he's fine. He would not squelch at all. However, unfortunately,
done.
he's using swamp tread on floorboards. And, you know, that whole feeling around with your toes for stability, that just doesn't make things worse.
Okay.
I gotta say,
So-
I love the ghost dice, by the way, when people roll in the dice tower or the GM rolls.
Yeah, it's very cool. So, Erdit, you're creeping down the very noisy corridor
Absolutely.
towards the ajar door.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to attempt to make it look natural as I peer through on the way past to get a beer or something.
Okay, the door's only slightly ajar. Just a casual look won't really show much other than the wall. You'd literally have to open the door and stick your head in to get a good look.
Then I shall of course accidentally stumble and knock the door open on the way past.
Which again has a sound value attached. Okay, so you stumble into this door, and it's a single room, better furnished than yours. The mattress looks more comfy. There's a small chest of drawers, presumably with clothes in, and the bed sheets have been ruffled, not made. There's a chair knocked over, and there's a cuddly toy on the floor.
Oh, why do I get the sneaking suspicion that the innkeeper's daughter's been kidnapped? Okay, I'll look through the door and go, "Oh, sorry guys."
Okay.
You're looking in on the innkeeper's daughter because...
Again, no response. Nothing happens. No one seems to respond to you.
I'll stumble back to my room.
Okay, you stumble back to your room, and then what?
I'll look around. And I'll say,
Where's
Leonard?
gone?
Leonard? Crikey! I'll go fetch the others. Someone's stolen Leonard.
Can you make an initiative roll first, please?
Are you fetching us for the celebration?
I was just thinking, quick, let's get out of here before they bring him back.
Initiative is the I, yes?
Yes, the eye.
Oh,
You're gonna have to roll percentile. That's the one that Fishy found
Yes.
doesn't work.
The one that doesn't
yes.
work for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least it doesn't work on my character sheet. I'm assuming
It doesn't work on mine either.
Well,
Won't work.
Here we are, a 40-10.
So technically that's 40, as we found out from the way the system works. What is your initiative?
My initiative is 64.
Okay, so you do actually see, just about see Leonard. You look. Wait a minute, he's going over. Oh no, he's hiding over there. Just make him out, having the advantage of night vision and actually a really good spot.
What are you doing under the bed, Leonard?
I will, from my hiding spot, kick the effigy that I built that's under the bed, because everyone looks under the bed and come into full view. It's like, be quiet.
Is there like a little figure of a Leonard made of a couple of blankets, some straw, and the lipstick he nicked from Matilda?
he's unfortunately slightly more lifelike than the real Leonard.
And certainly a good deal cleaner.
It's less about hiding and more about putting things in places that people expect to see them.
And they expect to see you under their bed.
Well, that's what he's got, form for.
I'll whisper to Leonard, as quietly as I can muster. There's something going on next door. They've, looks like there's been a ruckus.
What?
A ruckus? Possibly shenanigans.
A ruckus and shenanigans.
I'm sorry,
Wow,
were you actually
that's
anticipating
going
us getting
far.
anywhere near the plot at any stage today?
Not
I
at all.
hope not.
Yeah.
All scene setting and dressing and getting to know the characters.
I'll kind of, with, the only way that one can in the dark, with my hands feeling ahead of me, kind of walk towards the noise. And so, what'd you say? I'm assuming that Edith can whisper very, very quietly.
They've, looks like there's been a fight and we missed it.
What?
Quietest fight in the world ever.
Do elves sleep?
Not when there's fights we could be taking bets on.
Look, first your ferrets wake me the bloody hell up. Then you go making a racket, right? Get back to bed, let's go to bloody sleep.
First a ruckus and shenanigans, now a racket as well. It's getting very noisy around here.
It is, and yet somehow we're sleeping through it.
Yep.
Excellent.
The sleep of the just. In
Yes.
my case, I don't know what your excuse is.
The sleep of the justly exhausted.
Alright, but look, when you wake up in the morning and you see that you've missed out on a great money-making opportunity and some fantastic fights, don't come to me with the don't come to me, because I told you so.
I'm going to fumble looking for some way of lighting the candle that I assume is nearby. The light.
Yep.
It's like, where is it? It's on the bedside somewhere. And light a candle.
Okay. You
So
now
right,
have
Not to miss
illumination.
this great money-making
Oh.
opportunity. Just send 10 crowns now, care of Edith.
Yes!
To goldfornothing.com.
Yep.
No, look, hold the counter. Right, you've got me up. Right, you've been successful. Now, what stupid trick is this?
Here, come have a look. And I'll show him to the door.
So, and I'll just look at him blank and go, it's a door.
Yeah, but it's what's going on the other side.
Well, it's someone else's room. You don't want to be disturbing them.
Has the door been closed again?
No,
I mean,
no, there was no one in the room. So the sheets had been pulled back and rustled like something had happened. There was a chair over. It's cuddly toy on the floor. There's no one in the room at all.
Leonard's spotting the cuddly toy. Won't put 2 and 2 together, but will make 5 somehow. And we go, what have you done with Matilda?
Yes.
Matilda?
Oh, look, there's a cuddly toy there. You know, priestesses always have to have something, don't they? Like a symbol or a focus. It's got to be.
I now have this image of a priest holding a cuddly toy up to turn undead with it.
Let's go have a look. I'm gonna
I'm not going into someone else's room.
wander in.
Now
Take a
you're
look
interested in
around.
property rights?
Look, listen, I like Ezio, alright? Ezio did me a solid, right? But I'm not going in someone else's room. Alright? You wait there, I'm going to go downstairs and sort this muck out.
Alright. Do you think you can go on then?
I will proceed downstairs.
Okay, you proceed downstairs. As you go downstairs, presumably you've got your candle with you, so you've got a bit
Yeah.
of illumination.
Yes, yeah.
You see a couple of once you get into the main area of the tavern, you can see that a couple of chairs have been knocked over and a couple of tables have been skewed sideways. Nothing looks broken; it's just out of place.
Someone must have got ratty during the night. Look around.
I should be so lucky.
Is there any kind of bell on the bar counter?
Yes.
I will ring the bell.
Yeah, you know how it is. You have to hang a pamphlet on the door if you want to get lucky.
Okay, ringing the bell. Can everyone please
Rolls.
make willpower rolls again, please?
Yay. Okay.
Erdit, can I have a initiative roll?
Oh,
Of
Flaberdell.
will.
Certainly.
Not a chance.
That 90 is actually 80, isn't it?
That is a fantastic
Yeah.
initiative.
Yeah,
I
that,
mean, it's still, you know,
Okay.
double my willpower, and apparently this is a really comfortable bed. But it's having now discovered that it's everywhere.
Yeah.
See,
Now we
the-
know what's doing it. There's tens coming up everywhere they shouldn't.
Yeah.
See, I think this is a case of either, and now both say to the contrary, it's that Brunhilde has got used to Lenore snoring, or Lenore's got used to Brunhilde's snoring, and neither one will admit who it is.
Lenore does not snore. She has never heard it, therefore it does not exist.
Sorry, no, go on.
Hi Neo. So just quick check to Neo. Hi Neo. I'm guessing you've just spotted the sword by your name. Yeah, I thought so. Thank you ever so much for what you did on Thursday, stepping in, commenting things in chat, and flagging to Devon undesirable that needed to be evicted. Thank you ever so much. You earned your sword. Now you
Oh,
don't need
cool.
to flag if you see any more undesirables. Thank you very, very much.
Cool. Sorry for
I meant to
missing
tell you
that.
the other day when I was in your channel.
so he now has the power of Zorn.
So you've rung the bell,
Yep.
and you can hear that sorts of movement upstairs. Erdit. Literally a moment after the bell's rung, not with enough time for someone to get up, get dressed, and leave their room, but literally the bell rings. There's a tap on your shoulder.
I'll turn around. Hello?
There's a young lady that's kept very much to herself of late. Very sort of average build, brownish, ashy blonde hair. She looks up at you. What's going on?
Someone's left the door open.
Which door? What door? Where?
Indicate to the door that is wide open next to me.
That's Sophia's room. Where's Sophia? She looks at you with an intensity that, if you didn't know better, could start. You'd swear could start fires.
And you're sure you don't know better?
Maybe she's gone down to get a drink. Let's go take a look.
She's a 12-year-old girl. We'd hear it if she was getting a drink. Listen. Do you hear a 12-year-old girl wondering what the noise was? The bell? Where is she? As Ludovica starts walking down the stairs, purposefully.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm going to actually start calling for Ezio. Or Inga.
Apples.
While you're calling out for Ezio and Inga, you can see Ludovica coming down the stairs, looking pissed off as hell.
I'll give her a go. So tell me about it. I got woken up as well. And continue to ring the bell.
Where's Sophia?
What do you mean, where's Sophia? Where's Matilda?
Probably in her room, sleeping the sleep of the just like she always does. Where's Sophia?
That's Ezio's door, right?
Yes.
I don't know. I need to see Ezio now. That the elf thinks there's some kind of ruckus going on, and he wakes me up and makes all clamour. I'm trying to find out what's going on. Do you know where Ezio is?
Probably coming down the stairs if I can hear right now.
Perfect. Then we can sort this matter out, can't we?
Literally, as she finishes her sentence, Ezio gets to the bottom of the stairs. What's all the fuss? What's going on?
Apparently, someone's taken Sophia, according to... Sorry, I didn't get your name, love.
Ludovica.
Ludvika.
Ezio's face goes ashen the minute you say that, and he turns around and runs straight back upstairs, presumably to check Sophia's room.
I'll just kind of look at...
He's gone maybe a couple of minutes and comes back down. How did you know? What happened?
She told me. The elf woke up, right? I've got to actually use his name now, sorry, I'm being rude. Erdith heard a noise. Right, I thought it was his ferrets playing silly buggers, as they always do. Right? He goes off, makes a bloody racket creaking here, there and everywhere. I'm trying to rest. I think, oh crap, I best hide, so I hide. Right? Next thing I know, he goes, come look at this door. And the door's open and there's this teddy bear on the floor. And I'm like, well, it's got to be Matilda's room, because, you know, they always got to have some kind of symbol, haven't they? And, you know, he goes, no. And all of a sudden, I go, right, I'm going to sort this out. So I come down to ring the bell for you, find out what's going on, because I have great respect for your establishment. And then Ludvika comes down, and all of a sudden, she's saying that Sophia's gone, and that was Sophia's room. I don't know, I've not looked at the room, it was too bloody dark.
Right. We need the watch. We need to. Why would they? Why would someone take Sophia? She's a child. Would one of you be kind enough to go and get the watch for me, please?
I think it best it not be me. I'm only saying this. You've given me great shelter.
Please, Leonard. My daughter is missing. This is my daughter. I need your help, please.
Don't worry, I haven't wound them up in here too much yet. I'll go find them.
No, let me go. All right, fine. Have you got some like a better have you got like a lantern I can use, because I can't see jack with this candles.
And literally, as he's saying, of course, Ludovica turns up and hands you a lit lantern.
Jesus, you'd be good, wouldn't you? Do you want to come with me?
No.
Because I could, use the help.
No.
Fine. So you go, mate, you're trying out some England with the bloody door and you go bloody need a cow. No, I'll go wandering off mumbling to myself.
Meanwhile, Paul Lenore and Brunhilde are dead to the world.
Mm-hmm. That's distinct
Oh.
from dead.
Where are the people?
So did both Erdit and Leonard go, or did just one of you go?
Erdit wandered off mumbling to himself. I'm still sat here in the tavern.
Oh, my
Okay.
round, but yeah.
So you've left Leonard
What you've seen
running off looking...
whilst
for the
mumbling to yourself
girl.
is that aside from having gone to get and light a lantern to give to Leonard, this Ludovica person is all eyes everywhere. She seems to be scrutinising just about everything.
I'll stand one of the tables back up and get some chairs around it.
As you start doing that, she rushes over to you. Just a minute, please. And she holds her hand up, and she looks at where each piece of the puzzle is, where the tables are, where the chairs are, and looks back at the stairs, as if in her mind she's redrawing something.
You okay there?
And she
Is her
looks.
surname
Thank
Grissom?
you. And then she walks off towards the door. And starts looking around the door at the floor.
I'll pull one of the chairs up to the table now that she's done with it. And Etia, you'd probably best come down and have a sit. This is doesn't sound like it's the sort of thing to be done standing up.
Quite right. Yes. Thank you, Erdit. Thank you. Who? Would you and your friends help me, please? I need you to help me find my daughter. I have no faith in the Watch. They never come here, and never for something that they see as trivial as a missing person. Would you and your friends please help? I'd do anything if you would bring my daughter back to me.
Don't say
Why?
things like that to him.
Why, of course! We'd be more than glad to help.
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, all I can think of is in Len and Ted kind of going,
I shall
I'm already bloody helping.
I shall go fetch the others, and I'll head up and knock upon the door of Brunhilde and Lenore.
Okay. I'm not going to ask for a roll this time because I'm at this point assuming that there's been enough there to start rousing you into a lighter state of sleep that the knocks will bring you around.
Mm-hmm. Ironically. Okay.
Have I gone blind, or is it the middle of the bloody night?
It's the middle of the night.
Go away, it's the middle of the bloody night.
Brunhilde, Lenore, you in there?
If somebody's knocking
Well, where
us
the
up...
bloody hell else would we be?
I don't know, at the pub?
Okay,
It is the
Lenore
pub.
is going to grab her closest available weapon, which is probably going to be either a knife or a sword.
Reasonable.
Brunhilde will struggle out of bed and stand behind her closest available weapon, which is going to be Lenore.
Armor class Lenore.
It is officially a thing now.
It
Armor
is.
class Lenore.
Yeah.
My class Lenore.
Inventory. Yes. Yeah, it's going to be her sword. As opposed to her two-handed sword, which would be a bit overkill for first thing in the morning.
If this is
not
just
ideal
a
for inside
ploy
a tavern.
to see Lenore in her small clothes, I am going to beat you around the head with something heavy.
Yes.
Presumably not Lenore.
Not that heavy.
Not that heavy, no. Okay, I'll fling the door open. What is going on? And I am indeed, one-handed sword is pointing up and towards Erdith.
Ah, you're already ready. Brilliant. Come on down, we've got to get this sorted.
What? Pretend
Right.
that 2 minutes ago I was asleep, walking through sunlit lands with several gentlemen.
We've had a kidnapping.
Have you? Why are you whispering? Who? Oh,
Oh.
God! Who's? Oh God! Oh God! What's Leonard
Who have you
done?
kidnapped? Who have you kidnapped and why?
What do you mean, who have I kidnapped? Look, come on down, we'll get this sorted.
No,
I'm
seriously,
going to,
seriously. Who have you kidnapped? You cannot gut anyone except your ferrets. We've talked about this. Just because other people may be small doesn't mean they're rodents.
And some of them own maces, remember?
Exactly. Now, I mean, if you find yourself a 5-foot-tall rat, then that's another thing. But they don't exist, therefore...
Ah, well, there was a fella I spoke to reckoned they did.
Look, there's
And
no
it was covered up.
There's no time for this. Look.
You cover up a 5-foot
the-
rat. Really
The
big
innkeeper's
blanket.
daughter's gone missing, and we have a business opportunity.
Okay.
And cut to Leonard. So, Leonard, it's raining. It's cold.
Oh.
It's about 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're looking for the city watch in the dodgiest part of town. Well, second dodgiest part of town.
I'm just kind of resolved that this isn't going to bloody work. I'm going to start trundling back to the inn.
Okay.
It's the one time you're not looking to find the watch.
Rasp on the door.
The
Not
door
politely.
sort of, as you knock, the door swings open, because it was never actually shut properly as you left. And there's a very sort of wet and bedraggled looking Leonard stepping back into the inn. Looking very much like a drowned rat.
I'm sorry, Ezio, but we're not gonna find them. Not on this night. They're probably all tucked away under a roof somewhere having a fag.
And cut back to Lenore and Co.
Lenore is pulling her boots on, but not bothering with anything else, so she's wandering down in basically her underwear and a reasonable amount of clothing, let's face it, because it's the era. It's not exactly wandering around in her best Ann Summers.
Wearing.
And but boots definitely, because feet.
Wearing nothing but their boots and a sword.
They're back.
Yes,
Welcome back, Fish.
exactly. Yes, it's Braggart. Someone's going to the bar.
Yes, don't know quite what happened there.
Yes, Lenore is going to head downstairs.
My internet went funky, apparently.
Okay. Mine's been in and out.
That does
all
mean,
morning.
unfortunately, we are going to have a gap in the middle of this stream because I lost my internet and I'm streaming. So,
You were only
Yeah.
gone
Sorry
for a
about that.
few seconds, but hopefully.
yeah, I
that's-
know.
Yeah.
Enough for OBS to disconnect.
Yeah.
Currently, it doesn't appear to have reconnected again. I may
That
have to
sucks.
manually stop and start to get this back.
Would you like to pause until you're restarted?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, let me stop and restart this.
I should take this
stream.
opportunity to take a comfort break. We've been going for a couple of hours, so I suggest if people need to, officially restarts OBS.
That
time for a
seems
comfort
to have
break
worked. Manually
Oh, okay.
Okay.
restarted OBS seems to have cured it.
Uh,
Apologies to anybody watching in
Yeah.
the Hint Play stream. My internet went funky.
I
in
could do
that
with the comfort
case,
break anyway, so
I would suggest yes, comfort break, and we can set that video running.
Take the time to play a video then.
Yeah.
We're watching to promote some.
Cool people.
Actually, that's I think the best way to describe them. Yeah, some people we have absolutely no official connection with whatsoever, but who we happen to think are quite cool.
I
Pretty
must have
much.
missed that conversation, so I won't be playing the video, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
So I will simply AFK myself and be right back.
So if I just hide fantasy rounds for now and play the video.
And off we go.
More voices provide the illusion of there being a full company when it's just. Oh, I didn't see you there. Welcome to Rusty Towers, home of the Magnus Archives, Rusty Quill Gaming, and more besides. We're a UK-based production company and podcast network specialising in the creation of original content. We provide a platform for new and exciting talent, and we also give people the chance that they need to get experience so that they can then go work in the media industries. But we need your help.
Oh. I didn't see you there. Here at Rusty Quill, we work hard to make sure that our content is free to access, but that doesn't mean it's free to produce. We rely on fan donations.
Yes,
to keep our
Becky,
shows
I completely
running.
forgot that I had
And for
muted my
Patreon.
desktop sound because I'm an
Patreon is an
idiot.
online service that allows you to donate regularly to us and get rewards for
Right,
your
well,
donations. These
let's
donations
pretend
allow
I'm
us
not an
to
idiot,
help
and
with
we'll
our
pretend that
existing
never happened.
shows,
We'll unmute
to start
desktop
new
sound, and I'll
projects,
stop.
and to pay our staff
That
who
would
are currently volunteering loads of their time for free, just so that you
Right,
can
yeah.
get your next story fix.
Oh, I didn't
might
see you
have said I'm
there.
very tired today.
Because of your donations, we've been able to keep the gaming podcast going, which means we've got guests on, we can do lots of extra content like the metacasts, and we've been able to improve the audio quality by moving into an actual recording studio instead of being in the hallway. And that's thanks to you. Shut up! What? Oh, I didn't see you there. Patreon has also helped the Magnus Archives, not just with a new studio, but new voice talent, merchandise, producers, and editors. Because more money means more spooks.
Oh, I didn't see you there. Of course, it's not just about us. By contributing to our Patreon, there are rewards for you too. You'll get in-show shoutouts, early access to ad-free episodes, plus bonus material like art and bloopers and extra episodes and even poems. And we're adding more for our higher tier patrons all the time, like exclusive live events. So why not come and join our great community?
Look, we need those lenses today, otherwise the entire koala dream sequence will have to be cut. Oh, I didn't see you there. We've got plans to branch out into new mediums at the Rusty Quill, and video is at the top of the list. We've already got plans to bring you more backstage content through video, as well as streaming content. And we're also uploading all of your favourite podcasts to YouTube, so that you can view them there, and we can reach an entirely new audience. We've got some great things on the go already, but we can't do them without your continued support. Sorry, my camera just turned on. What were you saying about those lenses?
Oh! I didn't see you there! So come and help us make even more great content!
Right, so if you're
I
on
have
my
returned.
channel, you're back in the room.
Was my timing good?
Your timing was perfect for me.
Excellent.
I think Fish started slightly earlier.
No, I started later. I kind of screwed up.
Oopsie.
Okay, so we return as I believe Lenore.
Give us a moment.
Sorry.
Right, and we are
Cool.
back.
I'd like to reiterate, we get
Sorry about that. Yeah, I
nothing.
managed to play the beginning of the video with no sound.
Ah!
That stupid machine.
Yeah, we get nothing
So I had
from
to go back and
playing
start
that advert, by the way.
Right.
We get no benefit from it, except in as much as, generally speaking, they are pretty cool people, and we want to see them carrying on making content. So, if you feel like heading over to their Patreon, you would be doing them all a solid.
Fair enough.
And I don't have the link handy, which I really should have had in advance, ready for this, but it's the Rusty Quill, as now typed into the Hint Plays chat, and they're pretty easy to find just by searching for that. If you're watching this because you like tabletop role-playing games rather than because you happen to like one or more of the specific people involved in this game, the Rusty Quill Gaming podcast was the first one that they started doing, and is an ongoing Pathfinder game in a homebrew world, which is a strange, twisted alternative to the world that we know. In which time doesn't work quite the way it does elsewhere, such as, for example, we have Einstein and Oscar Wilde, which is a little weird. But it's a lot of fun. There are something like 119 episodes of it now, but they do a good catch-up at the beginning of each of the series. So you can pretty much come in at the end of any series for the beginning of the next one, and then if you're like me, you then go back and listen to the episodes that you missed, because it's very entertaining and well worth a listen to.
Where was the chap doing the summoning with the crystals? It runs the horror podcast that I am absolutely fanatical about. So, right.
But only one of the people in that video has been known to frequent in Drut's stream chat.
Yes.
So far.
So far.
So far.
Yeah.
So I believe we return with a very wet and bedraggled Leonard back in the doorway, and Lenore and Brunhilde just getting to the bottom of the stairs to be greeted with the sight of a very pale-looking Ezio sat at the table looking absolutely terrified.
Erdith says there's been a kidnapping. What?
And it were your kid.
It seems like someone's taken Sophia, yes.
Right. When?
Erdith, you raised this. You and Leonard raised this to us. When did this happen?
Can't have been more than 15, 20 minutes ago. How long have we been here at this table?
Probably about 10 minutes, so yeah.
I don't know, I was asleep.
And you're sure they were kidnapped?
Well, I heard a ruckus, and when I went and took a look, door was open and they were gone.
So you heard a struggle, and you, casually strolled out?
Well, I
Didn't think to come and wake us?
I did just come and wake you.
We will discuss this.
You were a bit lax on timing.
Okay, could the child simply have had a nightmare and run off? This is to the parents.
She's never had that before.
Wait, let's ask some important
Everyone has
questions.
nightmares, certainly, but
Was the door locked?
sleep and run off.
Which door?
Front door. And the back door. Any door. The doors leading to the outside, were they locked?
But yes, I lock them every night.
And were they still locked when you got up and found you were missing?
I don't know. At that point, Ludwika comes over from inspecting one of the doors. That one was forced.
Front or
Right,
back?
so,
Front?
Back.
Back.
was it forced in or forced out?
Forced from the outside.
Right. I have come to a conclusion.
Right.
His daughter's been kidnapped.
Have you sent for the watch?
I tried to find them, but it's pissing it down out there. No watch.
Are you telling me you couldn't get arrested?
I'm not trying to get
That's
arrested,
fair.
because I know the watch will take one look at me and think, "Oh, you did it, you filthy scoundrel," and that'll be it.
Right.
Whereas I
okay.
want, because Ezio did us a solid, I want to make sure she's found.
Much as I hate to agree with Len, I do agree with Len. The watch are going to be no good to us at all.
You don't think that perhaps it might be a first step in alerting the authorities that a child has been kidnapped?
Or they'll decide one of us did it. Either Len there, as he says, or possibly even her father. What they won't do is spend much time looking for another suspect.
But that's ridiculous.
Hold up. Ezio.
Ridiculous? It is indeed ridiculous. Which is absolutely why I have this pamphlet on this very subject.
Okay. Right. Fine.
Ezio.
Yes?
I mean, I'll come and sit next to him and kind of be as convivial as I can be.
Oh, God.
Although I don't really know what I'm doing.
Fellowship roll, please.
Smell.
This is going to be an education.
This is going to be terrible. Okay, right, go for it. What were you going to say?
Right. Actually, I know this is difficult, but when I purvey my line of work, I tend to do it because there's something I can get out of it. Is there any reason why someone would want your daughter? I mean, aside from the usual, like, slavery and the like, and they don't want to hear that.
He shudders the minute you say that.
Yeah. No, we actually don't want to hear that.
Or did he mispronounce pervy?
Is there any particular reason why they would want your daughter?
I can't think of anything.
I mean, I know she's special. She's a lot of your life. But you've got to think about these nasty folk and what they can get out of it.
Okay, no, he doesn't need to think about that just at this moment. You seem to be competent. This is addressed to Ludwika. What do you think happened here? And if anybody else tells me that the child was kidnapped, I'm going to go postal.
I don't know.
Should I see you blankly for a second? You're asking me? Why would I know what happened here? Anything more than we all know.
Oh, I don't think you know anything more, but you've seemed to have made more of the information that we have than anybody else. Obviously, Ezio seems to be basically no good to anyone, not quite understandably, and Lord only knows what Leonard's up to.
Just to be clear, Leonard is going to start staring gormlessly at Lenore's face.
And how is this different to normal?
Well,
Brunhilde's going to go and study the door that's been broken in while this conversation is going on.
And I shall fetch a ferret.
well, let me see. What do I know that hasn't already been identified? Let's see. Sophia has been taken. We know that because she's not in her room. There's a little bit of a scuffle sign. Chair knocked over.
Do we know that? Are we sure? Has anybody checked the other rooms? She could still be in here somewhere.
I'm going upstairs.
Somebody broke in, we know that.
Yeah.
Sophia's missing, we know that. We don't know the two left together.
That is a very good point. You should check every room just to be sure.
Lenore is going to head upstairs.
Could have heard whoever it was and hidden.
Because the only person who hasn't yet made an appearance, or the people who haven't yet made an appearance, of course, are Ivan and Matilda.
Indeed.
So I am going to... do I know what room either of them are in? Or is this going to be...
No, because you headed up before they did.
Yeah.
So no.
Okay, so this is going to be a surprise then. This will be fun. So I am going to knock on the first occupied door with the hilt of my sword.
Okay.
Excuse me. Wake up.
You're a slight shuffling inside.
Okay.
And then the door slams open as you're looking into the chest of Ivan. What? You wake me. What?
Sophia, a small child has gone missing. Have you seen her?
Sleep.
Yes, I know you were asleep.
Ivan sleep.
I was asleep. However, small child, could you look under your bed, please? Someone has
Child
come
not
in
there.
and
Good night.
stolen child.
He shuts the door in your face.
He's going to give it a try. I have my boots on.
I think he can give it a pretty good try. He looks very strong.
He does look very strong, yeah. I'm just saying, this is going to
Which
hurt.
are you going to give first, the door
Oh,
or
my
Lenore's
foot.
boot?
Yeah. Fine, okay.
Have you put any more clothes on than your boots yet?
No, I'm in my boots.
Boots and night clothes by the sound of it.
Yeah, boots, undershirt, and
Good old
sort
long
of-
johns.
largely,
So
yeah.
fairly well covered. But,
Knee breeches, basically, is what it's going to be. Because she doesn't wear dresses, for the most part. That's gonna
Looking
be kind
very
of-
intimidating then.
I'm sorry, have you ever had a woman wearing very few clothes waving a sword in your face? To be fair, I gather that's quite intimidating.
Not when awake.
Whereas Ivan was pretty much there just in his sleeping breeches.
Fair enough. So yes,
And yes, his torso does bear many scars.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's otherwise known as targeting information. Okay. Stand there with a messer. Okay. So I am going, in that case, to head to the next room, which I assume is going to be Matilda.
Quite possibly.
And knock.
Okay. Again, there's signs of movement. Or sounds of movement, sorry.
Yep.
A few moments later, the door opens, and sure enough, it is indeed Matilda in her nightclothes. Hello?
Sophia, the innkeeper's daughter, has gone missing. Someone's broken in and apparently tried to steal her. Just wanted to make sure she didn't go and hide in your room. Would you mind having a quick look?
Of course, come in. And she sort of has a look under the bed and lifts the bedding up and lifts piles of clothes up. And
she's not quite that small, but okay.
She's not here, I'm afraid.
Right.
Is poor Ezio okay?
On balance, no. On the whole, I do feel possibly time is of the essence.
Is he downstairs?
He is, yes. Everybody else is downstairs, apart from Ivan, who's just swearing at not being asleep anymore.
I should go and comfort him or something. Feel free to search my room.
Thank you.
She heads downstairs to join the guys at the table with Ezio.
Right. I am going to, basically, she's done a reasonable job of displaying that there's nobody hiding in her room. I'm just going to swing by our room and pick up a tunic, so at least I'm wearing something. Because I'm still thinking that going to see the watch is probably my best bet.
Okay.
And I'd rather not do that while essentially wearing my underwear. It sends a whole wrong message as to why you want to see the watch.
Sends us back to the private club.
It does, yes.
Well, if you want somebody to watch, there's always one we can count on. Just let that sink in.
Yeah, it came out so wrong. Okay, so that's me searching upstairs. So what's Brunhilde up to?
Yes, Brunhilde is looking at the door.
So, what are you looking for at the door?
Apparently it has been forced, so I want to have a look and see how it was forced.
Okay, give me an observe.
Has it been forced subtly, or has it been obviously kicked open?
Roll your initiative, please, and give me an observe roll. Or search, both of which are done on initiative, so if you have anything that affects...
So, yeah, I have a 62 initiative.
Good start.
So let me just make a percentile roll there. That's a 62.
What's your... Is it 60 points? 60 you've got?
62 is my initiative. I just rolled exactly my initiative.
Well done.
If only you got a critical success for rolling exactly your score.
Yeah.
Wrong system for that. So you...
So
yes,
that was
there's scrape marks on the door. And ultimately, it has been forced inwards.
The other roll that you asked me for, also on initiative, came in at 74, so I failed.
Yeah, it was one or the other, whichever was.
Right, okay.
It was either like observe or search. I was trying to work out whether you were studying or physically looking for something.
Yeah, a bit of both, really. Studying and poking at it.
Yeah. So what you've got is that there are scratch marks around where the latch is on the door. Both on the door and on the frame, and then ultimately heavy force has been applied to it, and the wood has splintered around it and it's given way.
That looks like a crowbar or something.
Okay.
Find the right position and then apply force to break it open.
Just out of curiosity, are any of all Brunhilde's family, if I recall, siblings rather, are dodgy as hell, aren't they?
No, not at all.
Aren't they?
No, I mean, there's Eva. Eva's not dodgy at all.
No?
Brunhilde learnt everything she knows from Eva. She's a master agitator.
Okay.
So
Not dodgy at all.
I could have sworn that half your family were criminals.
Deal is a jailer. I mean, there's nothing dodgy about that. Well, actually, no. He's probably the one that we don't want to talk about, aside from Kirsten, who, as I said, we don't mention.
I can have a look at the door.
And Renata's a hunter. Nothing bad about that. We
Okay.
could do with Renata, actually. She could probably read the signs.
Yeah. I, unfortunately, am not that great at tracking people down. However, I am quite good at dispensing summary justice once we do. She
Well,
says...
it looks to me like somebody has jimmied this lock open. Plus is it the frame or the door that is broken?
Frame. The frame gave.
Yeah. Bust the door frame here. So, outside, is it cobbles or dirt or what?
A bit of both. There's cobbles leading from the door to the street. Either side of that, leading to a little bit of a beer garden area, presumably to be used in the summer, if Middenheim ever gets something vaguely approaching a summer. That's, given the rain, muddy as hell.
Well, I'll have a look around in the hope of finding something resembling footprints outside. See if I can find any clues that way.
Okay, give me a search roll, please. Again, this is on initiative. With any modifiers for skills you have.
Ha! What are these earth things you call skills? However, I rolled a 4.
That'll do it. Good lord, that'll do it very
Yeah.
well.
Nice.
I don't think the amount by which I made it is relevant in this game system, but I made it by 58 if you wanted to house rule something.
Whoa. Good
Well, funnily
lord.
enough, it does make. I do remember reading about how much you fail it by making a difference. So logically, how much you make it by also makes a difference.
Should also make a difference.
Yeah.
The top tier being if you pass it by 30, if you fail by 30% or more, that's a critical failure, and things have gone horribly wrong. So if you pass by 30% or more,
critical
same
success.
applies. So yes, there are indeed footprints, multiple footprints.
Do they look
Given
like
that
footprints
Leonard
that
went
are
out the
relevant
other
to
door.
this?
Given that Leonard went out the other door, you know they're not Leonard's.
Right, okay, so first thing, how big are these footprints?
Yeah. That's what I was just wondering.
Which ones? I did say there were multiple.
Multiple, yes, this is a good point. Okay, how many different sets of prints can I identify?
Okay, you can see 3 different sets of footprints. One set would appear to be average human-sized, booted. You can see those walking from the street towards the garden. Then, coming from the garden, you can see the same set of prints, but also 2 other sets, which appear to be more animalistic, maybe. One of which is significantly larger, indicating a heavier, they're deeper in the mud, slightly wider footprint, and it's more like a paw than a foot. And the third set is like a smaller version of the big set.
I just thought of something.
As you
Wow.
then follow these prints to, let's say they came off the road to the garden and then from the garden back to the door. As you follow them to the garden, you find something possibly not to your taste. There is an array of they look like some kind of internal organ, marked 5 of them, 1 on each point, and then a 6th in the center.
Death. Oh, sorry, I'm not there.
Matilda, was it?
Yeah.
Matilda's the priestess, yes.
Matilda, love, could you come and have a look at this? Don't step there or there.
I'm sorry, what am I looking at? What's...
You're looking at that because you're the only person here who might know anything at all about magic.
Once she sees what you're pointing at, she stops paying any attention to the fact that it's wet outside and she's getting absolutely soaking wet in her nightie. And if it were possible for her to go any paler, you would see that happen, clear as day. My word, that is rather unpleasant.
I thought that, yes. And it looks ritual to me.
Those are hearts.
Are they?
And...
They don't look like that once you put them in a stew.
Well, how often would you put a human heart in a stew?
Well, do human hearts look different from somebody else's hearts?
I've never seen anyone else's. Do you put elven hearts in a stew? Never mind, I don't want to know the answer to that
Well,
question.
no. Sheep and pigs, though.
Pigs.
Pigs, yeah. So, yeah, now you sort of tilt your head and see the angle. Yeah, actually, yeah, they are hearts.
So,
this shocking revelation that Matilda's getting wet, Leonard's going to take off some of his tatty clothing and put it over her. So I'll catch a cold.
if you've bloody trodden on them footprints, I'm going to kill you. Get back inside and don't step there!
No need, but thank you very much for your concern, Leonard. She takes a closer look at the way they're laid out.
Right, well, I was going to say that somebody come in here with two big dogs, one bigger than the other. But I'm me thinking now. I may be wrong there.
Hold on. Where'd that tanned fella go?
Who? What?
There was that other guy.
Yeah, there was a fellow from Araby or wherever that we had forgotten.
Well, I mean, the Norm might find him upstairs.
Well, I thought you people were checking rooms to see whether...
No one have to check rooms. I don't want to die.
Now putting some clothes on and then we'll carry on, finish checking the rooms. I don't know how many rooms are upstairs.
Yeah, I did miss mentioning his room. A knock on his door will yield, once you are dressed, no response.
Look, I don't mean to concern anybody, but when I said, have you checked the rooms to see if she's still here, I didn't mean just knock on the ones people were sleeping in and ask if she's there. Because she's not going to be there, is she? She's going to be hiding somewhere if she's still here. So, like, check the cellars and the empty rooms, places like that. You know, show some common sense.
Right, okay. I'm sorry if I disturb the footprints. I'm going to go and have a word vet, so see if I can get some keys to have a look around.
Well, you won't need keys, because if you need keys, she can't have got in there, so she won't be hiding there.
Might be a secret way. It's an old building. I used to hide all the time.
All right, you go and do that. Make yourself useful.
Also, don't let Matilda get wet.
Is she made of sugar?
Well, being that pal, she might as well be.
Despite what anybody else worries about, it can't be the fella from Araby because somebody broke in and he were already inside, so he wouldn't have done that. He'd have just opened the damn door.
Yeah. I'm not
So
there.
somebody come in from outside with... What do you know about demonology?
Precious little, I'm afraid. It's not my field at all.
Do demons have paws?
I have no idea.
Because whoever come in had two somethings with him that had paws. There's a big one there, and there's a little one there. And there's a strange ritual thing with hearts over there. So, you know, to me, as a rank amateur who knows nothing, that says demonology, but maybe I'm just superstitious.
Are you superstitious?
Well, I didn't think I was, but I'm beginning to change my mind.
On my way from there, going back to Ezio, I'm going to go... if you might want to have a look at it, there's something weird. Just wait inside before Brunhilde comes to get your head bitten off.
Don't worry. I've got something I'm working together here, and I'll finish up. Strap in a couple of ferrets to some L-shaped pieces of wood.
Don't let them go to waste.
Now is not the time to pull the internal organs out of a ferret. Not if you want to not be arrested for this.
I'll bring them out of my room and take them over to the room of, oh my word, it's moved over here. The room of Sophia.
Right.
And give them a good sniff at the bear. And then I shall begin employing the divination act of the dowsing ferrets.
Dowsing ferrets.
Oh my word.
You just sit down. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm going to come out of my room wearing basically tunic and cloak, just as he brings his ferrets into a child's bedroom.
Pretty much.
What are you doing?
Looking for the girl.
Right, and will that help?
It can't not help.
Fair point.
I think it can.
Okay, so you are divining. Please make me an intelligence test.
Right, that is 49. I do have divination as a skill.
You do indeed, yes.
I'm not sure what bonus that employs.
Okay. Your ferrets have sniffed the bear, and they are tugging you towards the door that everyone seems to be clustered around, which is the back door to the tavern, to the inn.
I shall follow the trail of the dowsing ferrets.
Well, apparently divining does work.
Yeah.
This skill can be used to try to discover information not normally available to a character.
Okay.
The Game Master can establish the success of divination by a test based on the character's intelligence.
Yes, indeed.
Games Master must be discreet when giving a player information of this kind. Answers should not be too cut and dried. Be cryptic. Leave room for erroneous interpretation or ambiguity. The ferret carefully explains everything to you. What you get is roughly squeak, 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 eek, squeak.
This is why the ferrets are tied onto L-shaped sticks.
This is fine if you're trying to divine direction. If the left ferret squeaks, you go left. If the right ferret squeaks, you go right.
Which is how they're guiding him to the door at the moment. However, you're going to get very wet once you get outside the door, Edit.
The player should establish the character's own method of divination and stick to it.
Ferrets.
Don't stick to ferrets.
Lenore,
Yes.
you have passed now, or been passed by Erdit and his ferret divination technique. And you still have 2 rooms to check upstairs.
Yeah. Okay, I will check on those 2 rooms. Nearest one first.
Okay, nearest one first. Knock on the door, no response.
Okay, I will try the door.
It swings open.
Okay. Hello?
There's no one in here, but the place has been turned over.
Okay.
There's clothes everywhere, the bed has been flipped.
Right.
So the matting on the bed has been flipped.
So basically, yes, so this was an occupied room and now it isn't.
Correct.
We just found out what the sounds of the struggle were. I thought the girl was probably not combat trained. Right, okay. Making a note of which room it is and then checking the next one for completeness sake.
Okay, it is a prepared empty room, unoccupied.
Nobody in here? No? Good.
No response.
Right. Legging it down the stairs then.
Whereupon Erdit is heading outside with his ferrets into the rain as they squeak left and right.
Don't stand there!
The ferrets don't lead you anywhere near the footsteps that Brunhilde is investigating, keeps you on the cobbles, out to the street. Then they go left, and then they argue as to whether they should go left or right.
I have used the mystery of the ferrets and divined that the villain is in this cheese factory.
I shall point the ferrets upwards.
They still want to go either left or right, but not up or down.
I'm not at a crossroads or anything, am I? What's the area around me look like?
Right. A lot of the street is crossroads. You're in kind of the slummy part of town. You've headed away from the nice part of the old quarter towards the less nice part of the old quarter. Into the parts where the City Watch don't go with numbers less than 10, heavily armed, before they ask for backup.
Newington.
Roughly where Fishy has just stuck an arrow, as it happens. Thank you, Fish.
I noticed on the map in the
oh no, that's one of
the background that the last drop is just there.
Oh, was that the two big arrows? Two black arrows?
Yeah. Further south than the last drop. How do I put arrows on this thing?
Right click,
Oh,
and there's a pointers thing.
Clear.
Well, open it again first. Then.
Pointers, there we go.
Okay.
So you're currently... Oh,
there's also a drawing mode if you want to do manual.
Oh, probably. So
okay.
Right. Kind of where that orange pointer is. You're headed down that way.
Righto.
And that's where it starts to go. They don't know which way to go.
I'll beckon over to Brunhilde and do what I can to grab their attention.
What do you want?
Anything over here?
Are you asking me to trust your ferrets?
They brought us here, didn't they?
They brought you over there. Doesn't mean there's anything over there.
Well, they brought us to Middenheim.
I tell you what brought me to Middenheim. Lenore brought me to Middenheim. I don't know why you're here. I just followed the lanky one. Look, I've got footprints here, and you're all the way over there. I mean, what have you found, if you've found anything?
I mean, there's a few buildings round here.
Funny that, in a city.
Yell when we get back to the inn, okay?
Well, we'll let those guys outside get wet in the rain for a bit longer, and we'll go back to the inn now.
Right. Brainfry, Ezio.
Yes?
Who was in, and I will describe the room that's been turned over.
Oh, that was Hibat's room.
Right. Hibat is not in his room. His room has been turned into a disaster area. I think we may have found who the people who stole your daughter were actually after. At a guess.
What? Why would anyone want Hibat? He was a nice man. He is a nice man.
He is a nice man. He may well still be a nice man. But he's a nice man whose room has been tossed. Somebody was looking for something. Presumably something he had, and at a guess I would say your daughter came out to look at what was going on.
I see. That makes some sense, but we still don't know who or where.
No. Right. Why is everybody outside?
Brunhilde found something in the garden they were looking at.
Right. Okay. I'm going to poke my head out of the back door. Brunhilde.
Don't stand there.
I'm not. What did you find?
Have you had breakfast?
It's the middle of the night.
Oh, good. we found a magic ritual circle full of human hearts. Have a nice day.
As you do. Right, what kind of ritual? And do we know they're human?
Don't know.
Matilda looks at you for a second.
I know
Do we know
about
it's a
rituals.
ritual circle? All we know is that there are some human hearts here. We don't know if there was a ritual circle.
Okay.
This is a definite arrangement. So either there is a really, really weird artist in town.
How fresh are they? And where am I not stepping?
Well, they weren't here last night, I can tell you that. I'd have noticed. We'd have all noticed.
No, I mean,
Somebody
are they
would have noticed.
preserved? Or are they
What,
recent?
salted? I don't know. I haven't checked them to see if they were salted. I'm not tasting human hearts to find out if it's salted.
Sniff them, see if they're pickled.
I am not sniffing human hearts either.
Leonard?
And you're sure they're not and you're sure they're human and not pig?
Yes, I am sure they're human.
Right.
There you go.
Okay. I'm going to look down and see if I can pick up on what Brunhilde is having a turn about me not walking on.
And look at these footprints. Them
Okay.
two there are not human.
Okay. Excellent vision and night vision. I'm guessing I
And
can
I
see
just
pretty
pointed
well.
that out with a hand I don't have. Them two there.
Oh my god, phantom limb and then some.
Yep.
So it's now they're pointed out, you don't need to scrutinise the ground to look for them. You can see them pretty much clear as day,
Okay.
given the ambient light and your excellent vision.
I'm going back to the doorway after Edith called.
Right.
Leonard, these hearts, they fresh? These guys wouldn't taste them.
Can I step? Because I need to pick one up.
Don't you bloody touch that.
What? You want to find out if they're fresh or not? I'll tell you.
No, you won't.
Okay, making my way past without treading on any of the footprints.
Yeah.
To the ritual site, probably ritual. Oh, Lenore air quotes. She has to. I think
I've got
it
a
works.
pamphlet with quotes.
It works for her. Probably uses the term basically too much. She is going to look down at the ritual site and see if there are blood splatters or whether it's clean, except for the, hearts.
Okay, give me a search roll, please.
Okay, what's that done under?
That is done under intelligence.
Oh, shit.
Is it intelligence or initiative?
I think actually, as written in the rulebook, it's initiative. But
It's
I also
initiative.
think
Yeah, that was me
I
originally.
House rulebook
Words
for
beginning with I
intelligence
seem
a
very
long
similar.
time ago.
Right, so my initiative is 45.
Initiative never made sense to me for that.
No.
So can I
Intelligence
roll
would make
it?
more
No,
sense,
I
but it
can't
is indeed
roll.
initiative.
Yeah.
So I'm on percentile. No, I'm on percentile. Get weasels. How do you persuade it to roll percentile? There
And
we go.
Erdit, can I
You
have
to
a
right
similar
click
roll
in the
from
right
yourself,
place.
please, at your crossroads with the ferrets?
Yeah.
Yes! Made it by 1.
Okay, there is.
Thank you, Advanced Schemes.
There is no splatter.
Right.
That was not a 20. That was a 100.
You can't even be sure they're meat.
No, this was a different
Right.
a different thing at where Erdit's at. He's sort of shouting back. So yeah, there's no blood splatter on the ground. So they weren't cut out here.
Erdith's roll was actually a dodge roll because he's standing in the street shouting in the middle of the night. Somebody's just emptied the chamber pot.
Sadly
I'm
not.
standing there trying to separate the two ferrets which are now having a fight.
Those dice.
But in getting close enough to study that, you don't get any whiff of any pickling or salting.
It's not a salt or batter, do we?
How
There's
many
no batter
hearts
either.
were there?
6. 5 arranged
know-
outerly and then 1 central.
Do we know yet how many pit fighters have disappeared?
We don't. Several.
Anybody want to take a bet
Well, that it's 5.
that it's 6?
Well,
Erdith would.
sorry, I take it. I thought there was a circle of 5 hearts.
And one in
Circle
the
of 5
centre?
with 1 central.
Ah, sorry, my apologies.
That's okay.
Because I wasn't there, I wasn't paying as close attention. Yeah. Person who probably knows is Ivan, but I'm not waking him up again. Why would people be using the hearts of pit fighters in a ritual in your garden?
Have you gone back inside to ask that?
This is actually at the door. I'm not going back inside because I don't want the trap mud all over the place.
Hearts
But
Well, they might not be the hearts of pit fighters. That somebody has killed a bunch of pit fighters and then left their hearts in the garden here makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But on the other hand, they're the only people we know of at the moment who are missing.
No, was that?
I have no idea. It's fantastical that they're even. I have no.
Oh, where do we stand
I've
on
paid,
contacting the
I've
watch?
paid for the protection this month. This shouldn't be happening.
So if you don't pay protection, is this the sort of thing you expect to happen?
No.
Right, then
Breakages.
probably this has nothing to do with you paying protection. I think you paid the wrong people.
Yeah. Okay. The missing man. Who is he?
Someone's missing. Who's missing?
He is Hibat.
Hey, but the swarthy gentleman.
He's from Araby.
Yep, him. Someone's tossed his room.
He's some kind of academic of sorts. A seeker of knowledge, he calls himself.
Oh, is he really a seeker of knowledge? So there's a seeker of knowledge here, and somebody has arrayed a ritual circle of hearts in the garden. I'm beginning to see a connection.
There's a certain pattern emerging here, isn't there?
Question is,
But you said his room had been tossed and the door was forced from the outside? He has a key.
that he does.
Or maybe they were here for him.
Heard it.
Hello?
You know about divining and shit.
Yeah.
Does this look like some sort of divination to you?
I'll go take a look at the circle. Well, whoever it is, clearly they use a different method than I do.
Well, obviously.
It could be divination. You know that there are methods of divination that would include entrails and internal organs that aren't ferret. It's not, as you said, it's not your method, but it could
What kind
be.
of monster would not use a ferret?
I guess if you wanted to find something this way, you probably could.
So, how's this for a theory then? What if our Arab seeker of knowledge is actually in the same business as Erdith?
Right.
Somebody knew about him, come to the inn, broke the door in, grabbed him, said, find me the thing I'm looking for, or the answer I'm looking for, whatever. And he'd done the ritual out here to find out what it is, and then the fella said, okay, but I don't trust you, you're coming with me until I know that you're right. And somewhere along the lines, you know, the girl came out, saw them, and got nabbed.
Given the state of his room, I think there was something in there that they wanted, in addition to him.
So what's this for?
I'm not saying that that was the only thing they wanted. Okay.
Unless I were right in the first place, and this is the demon summoning ritual.
Oh, good. Good. There's something to look forward to.
Well, those paws are not human.
Okay.
So a lot of paws aren't human.
You don't shut up and all.
Pause for thought. Okay. So, what do we know about the paws? Edith, you live in nature.
They.
What kind of animals are they?
Oh, the typecasting that goes on in these games.
Yes.
Elf, you
Well-
live in nature. You know animal things.
Yeah.
Clearly, they belong to some animal.
Well, I'm glad we've got you here.
Let's study the paw prints again. Are they two-footed paw prints?
Oh god, there's
That was
Ooh.
the implication earlier, but are
That
they?
was the implication. But to properly study it and understand, you would need to know animals and have a certain amount of
Oh.
knowledge.
I need some sort of a lore skill,
Some sort
probably.
of
Take-
law skill, possibly with the relevant. Presumably that would be intelligence roll.
Yeah, I'll take a closer look, see if it relates anywhere at all to any kind of animals I
I'm
would
sure
know.
law's got to be on intelligence.
not a
Well, I utterly failed my
a s-
pathetic 29 intelligence
do you
check.
do you have any kind of law skill, Fish? On
No.
Brynhilda. So that was just a
So,
That
Hail
was,
a shot in
Mary.
the dark.
not only did I fail
Oh.
it, but I wouldn't really have got
No.
anything useful even if I'd succeeded.
damn. I got all excited then. I did not get 100, however.
So that is. Oh wow, that was awful.
I mean, that was a 90, not a 100. It's amazing. Now we've noticed it. That bloody second 10 is coming up
It's coming up
all
left,
the
right, and
time.
centre, isn't it?
I mean, I can give it a Hail Mary, see if there's anything I've come across.
That's what
Yeah.
everyone else has been doing
Like-
already.
So,
Yeah.
Go for it. Okay, well, you didn't fail as atrociously as the rest of us.
But we all critically failed.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I
Yeah.
didn't. I
You
just about
didn't.
avoided a critical fail.
Yeah. I don't even know who I am.
I'm not even sure these belong to an animal.
So, Fishy,
With your Nate boot.
Yeah.
you're not sure what these are, and you can't tell whether they're bipedal or not. Everyone else that got
Right.
the critical failures, it's two dogs. One's just a big sort of. God, I'm trying to think of a big dog, a huge dog, like those Russian steppes dog thing, the bear hunting dogs.
Oh, yeah. Mouse.
One of them's one of those, and the other one's just a smaller dog.
Okay, I'm thinking outside of the box on the grounds that inside the box is apparently crap. Moving slightly further afield, I am looking at the ground for footprints going the other way, towards the inn.
These footprints were towards the
These
inn.
were
Were they?
towards the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, heading away. Because we
So-
know they came in. I don't care who it is. Somebody came in. They've taken at least one, probably two people. And then they've gone. So now we need to know the where they've gone bit. That's the
I-
important bit.
Okay, give me a search roll, please.
Oh, Christ.
Again, initiative. Why they put all the observation stuff on initiative, I have no idea. But
Yeah. I do wonder whether it was a misprint and was supposed
And it should
to
be intelligence.
It's supposed to be intelligence, yeah.
And Games
However-
Workshop being Games Workshop don't like it after.
However, I will just hose that completely. I want to use real dice.
it's cobbles. You won't get anything on the cobbles. It's just nothing.
Yeah, real dice, I've got it. Okay. You bloody real dice. Those dice hate me anyway.
considering that I'm a bit of a dab hand when it comes to moving around in an urban environment without being noticed,
Yep.
could I look for any signs of, people trying to conceal or being stealthy as part of their exit strategy? There's nothing says they necessarily ran away. They might have covered up their tracks. They might have, actively worked against us.
Go for it. You're searching, but you're searching based on your knowledge of stealth and hiding.
Concealment, yeah.
from a long and honourable lifetime of getting out of places without being seen.
Yeah. So let's go for a roll. Yeah, based on your hiding skills. You should be able to just drag that in for a roll. Oh, is it just on? No, it's always on the stats, isn't it?
Yeah. So is it?
I think it is Dex.
Right, Dex.
Or is it cool? Fish, help me out here. I'm trying to memorise all these things that I can't remember.
So what are we rolling for?
Concealment skills, silent move and hide. Hide is indeed initiative and cool. So it's an
Yeah,
average of-
initiative and cool minus the initiative of the person who's looking for them.
So, okay, so... Oh god, I've actually got to do some maths now. Make your percentile roll.
Yep.
And tell me what your initiative and cool total up as.
My initiative and cool was 62.
Never mind, you rolled 2.
Yeah.
Whatever their initiative is, it's not gonna... Okay, so... You start to think like someone that might be looking to get into somewhere and get out stealthily with something. So you're looking for big areas that cast a lot of shadow, even a night, deep shadow that you can hide in. And possibly somewhere that you can ditch the tools of the trade so that you're not taking them with you should you get stopped later on.
Yeah.
So based on those presets, you start walking through your theory, moving from site to site, which takes you roughly in the same way that Erdit went with his divining ferrets.
Right.
When you get to the crossroads where Erdit's ferrets argued with each other, you take a look around, and there's a big opening that goes down into the sewers. And a lot of areas that possibly something like a crowbar could be ditched and sit without being found too quickly.
Right.
So if something was going to happen to change their direction, it would happen in this area.
Right.
Now with that roll, on a hunch, you reckon, now whether they went there or whether they just ditched some stuff there, you can't be sure, but you reckon there's something down into the city sewer there.
Right.
Because that's what you would have done.
Okay. Right. Do I mean, obviously I'm now away a bit from the back door and it's still dark.
Yep.
Can I see, I'm assuming they've got candlelight at the back. Do I get, like, Ludvika is what I'm looking for. Is there any...
Ludvika's not around, no.
Right.
No, she hasn't set foot outside of the inn yet.
Right. I'll call for Lenore.
Yeah?
Okay.
So currently you're not too far from Erdit. So it is a shout to be heard by Lenore.
Okay.
Okay. What? I'm heading in that direction.
Okay.
I'll wait for Lenore when she's closer, so I'm not shouting again.
I will keep my eyes down, however, because I don't want to try to risk treading on any kind of clues or clues left by horses, you know, of the sort that go on your roses.
Okay. So you head out to it is effectively a crossroads.
Yeah.
There's, as I said before, there's a way down into the sewers from here. There's a lot of close cover from the buildings, a lot of crap on the sides of the streets that you could quite happily hide something in that might get picked up by someone else further on down the line and thus have no trace to you whatsoever. There's a lot of options that someone could have done something here.
Could you help us out here? Because I know you see a lot better than I do.
Okay, what am I looking at?
I think there's got to be something around or in. I'm not saying go in there. I'm not going to complain, but something in or around that sewer.
Sewer.
And I think they might have dropped something or ditched something here.
Right.
Because you think they're getting out quick, they're getting out stealthy. Their cover of night is when they chose to attack. So I'm thinking they must have ditched something.
You think they've done
in or
something
around here.
down the sewer?
Either they've thrown it down the sewer or somewhere around here.
Right.
I'm blind as a bat in the dark.
Okay, I will have a look because I can see quite well.
I don't know about you, Erdith, if you want to have a look as well, but but it's what I would have done. I would
Your
have.
Elven eyes see.
Yeah.
Someone had to say it.
I think I've got better vision than the elf, actually.
Do you?
I think quite possibly.
I doubt it.
No.
At short range, yeah. Excellent vision and
You've
night
got
vision.
excellent vision as well, yeah. True.
Yes, I have excellent vision
And your
also.
spot chances. Oh, yeah, elf, I think they do.
Elves get that naturally.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So
It's in the list of if you for your background skills, you must take these first.
yeah, if you roll enough, you will get it.
Yeah.
So
I'll try and assist in exactly where they're searching by pointing out kind of the most shadowed areas, the most places where if I was going to conceal something, where I would drop it, leave it. If I had a choice of several places.
So,
Bar the sewer. I'm not going to the sewer yet.
First, take a quick look behind Mr. Morden over there.
so what does excellent vision give as by way of a bonus, or does it?
It's a
It
plus
increases the
10%.
distance you can see by natural light by 50%.
Okay. So works out to what, plus 10% in
It doesn't affect your night vision, but
Right.
if there's an illumination source, it increases.
got a
how far you
lantern.
can see. It does indeed.
Yep, I'm going to be waving the lantern around to help out. Basically, I can't see for crap, so I'm going to help out as best I can
Right.
for people who can.
I shall stop him waving it. And make him hold
Fish is
it
double checking
still.
just to I presume to make sure I haven't misruled it.
No, you are absolutely right. I'm trying to work out what skill it was I was thinking of that gives you plus 10 on spotting stuff. I may be thinking of a completely different game, of course.
Well, you've got a. I'll give you a plus 10 bonus for being guided by a guy that rolled 2 on what he was looking for.
Whoa. So okay, I need 55 or less.
So the odds are in your favour. May the
Not with
odds
these
ever be
bloody
in your
dice.
favour.
Tell you what, I'm not using those frickin'.
Cool, that's what they were after. Tell you what, I didn't realise these cities had caves as well.
Yeah. Fortunately, you guys trust me because you know I don't punch on.
Initiative,
I've been
yeah.
playing with you for a lot of years. Yes, yes, Geeky initiative.
I'm taking a photo of that one because I think I may have to post it.
01?
17.
And I'll have a 15, please.
Bob.
50.
No, that's a 15. It's a 10, and then.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
What? Hang on. What is it?
Hang on, no, that's.
Yeah, because.
Or is that for?
50.
What an oddity.
We'll have to bug report it to them.
Yeah. So is that a pass or a success or a failure?
That would be a pass by 14 before I add anything.
Okay, and Druck made it by lots. So, Erdit, you sort of peer around, and both you and Druck can see scuffle marks that look like they definitely head into the sewer.
Okay.
Some glint of water on the back wall, Drut, reflects from what you can see down into the sewer entryway, and you can see what looks like a glass bottle, a small glass bottle, lying down in the sewer.
How far down from...
You need to climb down there. You're not going to reach it.
Yay.
Don't forget you're looking at a reflection.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be gone soon in this rain, so... Ooh, not happy about this. Okay, I will climb down.
I'll go... No, do you want me to do it? I'll point to where it is, I'll go and get it.
Be my guest. Going to end up in the sewer anyway, may as well end up in the sewer without bare legs. Although I do have my
So-
boots, thank the gods.
I shall carefully descend to following
Okay.
Lenore's direction
Yeah.
to make sure.
Would you
I'm
be
heading
kind
on.
enough to make me a search roll yourself? Although you're being guided,
Yep.
I know how frustrating it can be looking for something that someone can blatantly see and you're just not getting it. So
You're in a room. Or not.
So you know those moments where the guy calling it out is, it's there, it's right in front of you. Take a step to your right, now you've just trodden on it.
The other right.
This is roughly how it's going. You can
Oh.
plainly see it, but
Sod it, I'll
Paul
climb
Leonard,
down. I shall climb down.
the level in the sewer is higher than would normally be, courtesy of the rain.
Really?
Also means it's more dilute.
Yeah. Oh, I did not need to hear that words. Oh.
I will take a search roll from Drutt as well, please.
Okay.
For different well, no, for the same reason, but
22.
okay. So you home straight in on this bottle, and while you're reaching down to pick up the bottle that is right by Leonard's left foot,
I'm just gonna be like, oh,
you see something else a little further down the flow. Can't make out what it is at this distance, but there's something not right.
Flow.
Something
and dilate.
that's caught on something, and you can see the water flowing around it.
Okay, I'm going to make my way down further. His boots are going to need industrial cleaning anyway.
Erdith is still nearby us.
Yeah, I'm at the top, looking looking down the grate.
I'll just kind of like, is he within talking distance? I don't have to shout.
Oh yeah, still within talking distance.
Okay, I'll just go make sure the others know that we're down here because bad things can happen.
As you
Say
close in
nobody
on it,
flush.
it looks like a boot or something, Drutt, as you get closer.
Oh, well, here's hoping it's just something that was chucked in. Going to pick it up. If it's got
Okay,
a foot
you-
in it.
Submerged in the sewer. It is indeed Das Boot.
When is the last bus over there?
Sorry.
Rockfall.
Rods fall, Brunhilde dies.
Yeah.
So
Only
as
take
you pick
pebbles.
it out of the water,
Yeah.
you can see that, yes, it's a boot. Carefully crafted around the underside of it is a paw.
Ah.
Right, we're going that way, are we? Okay.
Yeah, Brunhilde.
Okie dokie.
Can't just say, dog damn it.
Rat cultist bastards. Right, okay.
Very carefully designed to leave exactly the footprint that it did.
Yeah. Also, one of the best non-magic magic items you can get in The Witcher. Okay. A pair of boots like that, made out of feet. Right, okay. I'm going to look down in the direction that the boot was from this entrance and see if I can see any sign of movement, life, scratches, scrapes, dead bodies, heads, body parts, you know.
Okay, can I have another roll then, please?
Oh god, I'm not going to get 3 in a row. No, I'm not going to get 3 in a row. 46 is missing it by 1. Unless my
Oh,
excellent vision still counts.
It does.
That
Oh, okay.
increases the distance, as you can
It
see.
increases the distance, which makes it easier to see what. It's not that difficult to
enough.
see what the next thing to look for is.
Okay, I will take that then.
There is indeed what looks like a body lying in the sewer.
Somebody's down here.
Find me somebody to love. Oh, the Necromancer's
no,
love
now
song.
you're getting even worse.
I thought it was the vampire song, Find Me Somebody to Love Bite.
Ouch.
Excuse me.
Next time you listen to it, you will hear that in the lyrics.
I hate you. I've already got I'm a ninja. You're a ninja stuck in my head for the song You're an Angel. Unfortunately, once I heard it once, that was it. Okay.
I'll look over to Lenore and say, "Do you want some help?"
Well, I've just found a dead person. I'm not sure just yet. Right, I'm going to check on the dead person and see if it's the dead person I'm expecting it to be, or the dead person I'm really hoping it's not.
Okay. As you roll the dead person over, I assume you roll them over to see who it is.
Well, yeah. Also, if it's
That
a
would
small
make
child,
sense.
it's probably going to be considerably smaller than an adult man.
It's adult-sized.
Oh, thank God for that.
As
That's
you
a
roll them
plus.
over, they start coughing and spluttering, and expel a large amount of liquid from them via their mouth.
Poor bastard. Okay,
This is a
I'm
man of Araby stock.
Oh, okay.
I'll call up to
He looks
Erdith.
severely the worse for wear.
I'll call up to Erdith as I hear the coughing and spluttering. Go, get Matilda now.
Surprisingly, he's alive.
I'll head on back to the tavern and go get Matilda.
Right, I shall basically drag him back.
Yeah, I'll come wading forward to help.
Hello, I'm packing strength 5. I don't think this is going to be too much of a problem.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not even going to ask you to roll that. You're not encumbered by much else.
No.
So,
Well, no, not really.
hefting a fairly slim man around is not going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
I have a strength of 2, but I've got an A for effort.
Okay, you just deflect any turds that float in our direction, okay? Right, so we've got the bottle, we've got the boot, and we've got the gentleman.
Yep.
Okay, I feel like I'm in the point and click.
Can we combine
Have
the
you got
body and the
no
gentleman?
tea?
Okay, you head back up, and I will basically pass him up to you.
Okay. I will do as requested.
Because I think it's going to be easier me lifting him up to you, because I don't think he's in any fit state to climb.
Very much so, considering he probably weighs more than what I do.
Yeah, you just help him up, and I would just get underneath and boost him.
And have all the stuff dripping down.
Given what I'm standing in, I think that's the least of my worries. Plus, it's no different to if you gut somebody. You're going to end up with that dripping all over you anyway. It's just in,
True. I
wider
suppose it's
form.
like a good beer though. This stuff is fermented.
I want to hop into this actual game world and Gibbs led so badly.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
As
So-
in ludicrous.
You manhandle poor Hibbert up out of the sewer.
Mm.
The first thing he does upon getting to the surface is empty the contents of his stomach. Can I have a dodge roll from both Erdit and
I do
Leonard,
have
please?
dodge blow.
That's the one.
So do I.
From
How do you
Sense.
roll
Look it up.
it?
Dodge blow.
It's an initiative roll.
yes, it's an-
for-
yeah.
Of course it is.
I shall.
Anything other than initiative in this game.
Were they able to fetch our priestess? I am hit by everything.
I am covered in crap from the waist down, but I am not covered in vomit from the waist up.
Somehow I managed to trip and shield everyone against the spray of vomit.
Well, except me, I got 87.
It's okay, it's raining, it'll get washed off.
Exactly, just stand in the rain, it's fine. I'll pat
But that's your
Bart
way of
back.
bathing. You
That's
can
what Pat
still-
did.
Having been vommed on, you do then head back to the Grey Lord and encounter Matilda, who's still busy studying the array of human hearts.
Mm.
Hey Matilda,
Yes?
we found a guy. Need some help.
We found the missing man. We haven't found the missing girl. Make
Of
him
course, I'm on my
talk.
way. She rushes to your location.
Also, Brunhilde, we can stop looking for dogs.
Why is that?
I will produce the boot because somebody's been trying to lay a false trail.
Ah, that's clever.
Mm.
Right, so yes, I shall compare the boot to prints, and obviously they match. Do they match the larger set of prints?
Larger. And it's a big boot.
Yeah. So how big is this boot in terms of the person who would wear it? Is it a big boot for a normal-sized human?
The big boot would belong to someone the size of Ivan.
Yay!
So
It's a big man's boot.
Big.
Rather than a big man's boot, it's a big man's boot.
Yeah. So, looking at this boot and then comparing the sizes of the two different poor-booted tracks, can I get an estimate as to how big the other person wearing such boots could be?
Sensible.
Probably a slender human. Could be an elf, but more likely a shorter, slender human.
So, we've got two people. One of them a big bugger. What I want to know, and I don't get it at the moment, is why two people come in wearing funny boots, but one didn't.
Maybe you didn't like how they fit. They've got to be really awkward to walk on.
Practical but unlikely. I think he, pointing at Hibbert, is going to be our best source of information. Soon.
Having arrived where the poorly Hibbert is, Matilda's sort of looking and doing an assessment of his condition. We need to get him back to the inn. I can do more for him there than I can here in this cold pouring rain.
Right.
Can you help me with that, please?
I will sling him over my shoulder and I will carry him.
Thank you.
Again, A for effort on Leonard's part.
Yeah, stop trying to help, you're making him heavier. Leaning on his leg is not going to help.
I'll continue to kind of follow and rub his back.
Yeah. Also not helping.
So let it out, it's all right.
Yeah, no.
You found this fella in the sewer, you said?
Yes, he breathed in about half of it.
Oh,
and drunk the other half.
Yeah.
And you found the boot down there, and all.
And the boot. And a bottle. But I don't know if that's anything to do with anything.
Yeah, just agree with me for a second here, right? That bottle, right, glints, but it's really hard to see when it's in a sewer.
I understand how glass in water is tricky. Especially when you're...
Is there a thin bottle?
I don't know at the moment. I've got a half-dead guy over my shoulder and I stink of the sewers. I need...
Well, I wasn't going to say it.
Tell you what, you have a look. Thrusting the bottle at Brunhilde.
I will take the bottle, knowing I now have to wash my hand.
Oh dear, diddums. Yeah, hand. It's not one hand washes the other, is it?
No, not in her case.
The bottle is empty, but does still have a stopper in it.
Does it have any kind of label on it?
No label.
Not to be taken internally.
Plain glass bottle. There is maybe a light residue in the bottom, but there's no way of knowing if that's what was originally in there or something that seeped through the cork from the sewer.
Is it
what
fairly...
size bottle?
Sorry.
Roughly... No, I haven't got one that size. About that big,
Like
about that round.
Like a tincture bottle.
Yeah.
Miniature rather than
Yeah.
wine. Okay. No wonder he had so. I feel slightly better about him not being able to see it now.
What would be the bloody point of that? You can't put enough in it to be worthwhile.
Poison. Of some
Who's
description.
been poisoned? I mean, he has, obviously, but I thought that was by sewer.
I'm wondering about going back for the girl once I've dumped him. She might
Sleeping
be down
draft,
there.
maybe.
Sleeping draft would do it.
But if
No,
he
I
were
don't
what
think-
they were after, why did they leave him in sewer?
I think they tried to dump him. He was a nuisance and not what they wanted. So they dump the
So
tools of their
busting.
trade,
Wrecked
to-
his room,
lighten the load.
took him, took the girl,
Dumped him.
dumped him.
I mean, it's
Somewhere
exactly
down the
where.
line, this small bottle of something, poison or sleeping draft or whatever, comes in.
It's exactly where the ferrets thought she was. I reckon it's a good lead.
Congratulations, ferrets.
Well done, ferrets. You get to squeak another day.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure Lenore will attest this here. The smell of that place will cover up anything.
These are mystic ferrets. These are ferrets of divining. You want to take them down there, I can see no reason not to. No reason to. But why should I be the only one who stinks?
Well, my clothes can't get any worse at this point.
Oh, you
Oh,
poor
bugger.
sweet summer child.
I was trying to delete the arrow, and I think I just deleted the whole picture.
You did. I wonder where that
Arse.
went.
Only closed the picture anyway.
To be fair,
I'll,
It deleted it.
to be
I'll
fair,
re-edit.
you did delete the arrow.
Yeah, the arrow is gone.
It was 1,000% successful.
I'll head down into the sewer and continue. See whether my ferrets can find any further route here. Since they
Okay.
managed to lead me to the top,
Okay. Give
I
me,
was just too blind to see anywhere else.
right, give me... Once you've climbed down into the sewers, give me a divination roll.
Yep, that was initiative, yeah? Or intelligence.
Intelligence. Okay.
Aha.
While he's doing that, Brunhilde will now finally go and get dressed. Because it looks like we've got a clue. We may be needing to actually go away from the inn to investigate things.
Yeah.
I'll,
Clothes.
do you want
It is.
keep hold of the bottle?
It is way too smelly for my ferrets.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. They're just trying to climb off the sticks and back up into the fresh air. So once you all get back inside, Matilda asks you to take Hibart to her room where she can tend to him.
I'll the pills that she gave me for the elbow, I'll offer them to him. Can these be of any help to him?
They will be of no use to him. But thank you for your concern. What ails him is very different to what ails you.
I know, we smell about the same, so I thought it might help.
You're a simple chap, aren't you?
This tincture of lithium will be of no use to him.
I don't know. I think hyper-strong painkillers after being dumped into a sewer would probably just conceal the pain, the emotional stress. You just wouldn't care anymore.
How many channels do there seem to be in this sewer?
This one, well, it could be any number, but this is just a small tributary. If you want wider multi-channel bits, you probably need to get nearer the centre.
Is there any kind of sidewall, or is it just a slough?
There is. I mean, you've had to climb down into it, so there is a sidewall. Yes.
I'm going to wander along the sidewall rather than through the slough, and take a look deeper down into these sewers.
You're heading further. When you say deeper down, you mean towards the centre of the city or away from the city?
Ooh, which direction did the two head in when they went down? Because I was at the top looking in.
They were heading away from the city.
Away from the
centre.
city, then.
Well, to be fair, that's where the current would take
Yeah.
things.
So, what you can tell from where you are is that the sewer is actually angled, again, away from the centre. So it's built to let all the sewage run away from the centre of the city. Given that Middenheim itself is on a rock that's way, way higher than everything else around it, chances are that where those sewers come out is just outpouring to the side of the rock, and then we'll just run down the edge of the rock to the forest floor at the bottom.
Well, unless this is some kind of grand conspiracy involving the church, I don't see why they'd do anything to take it towards the city centre. So, away from the city centre it is.
I'm just going to shake my head and say, No, basically, Len thinks it's a fool's errand. That
Okay.
It was as kind of intimated that it was just them dumping stuff and then moving on. They wouldn't have taken the sewers to go anywhere.
Okay, so you're going to follow the sewers. Give me 2 search rolls, please, Kiki.
Okay, that is the
That's
initiative, yeah?
That's 2 initiative rolls.
Okay. Have a 45 and a... Oh, there it is. 66.
Okay.
My initiative is 64, and I do have perfect vision and night vision.
Okay. So, you're heading down the sewers for what feels like a good fair distance, when you can see again slight scuff marks that would indicate someone has climbed from here back up to the street. But the sewers don't necessarily follow the street, so you can't just go, we've followed the street down this far, this is where we're at. So I'll need a navigation roll of sorts to identify where you are.
Right, navigation.
Navigation or orientation or something along those lines.
I have none of these skills.
It
How
would
long?
take to be intelligence.
Yeah, how long have I been in this? How long have we been in this city?
Literally a few days. Long enough to get to know the inhabitants of the inn you're staying at, and that's about it.
Okay. I'm sure I might have stumbled across something somewhere.
Oh, that was good.
There we are.
Yay.
Okay. Yeah. So you clearly reckon from. I need to pull up a different map now because I deleted rather than removing an arrow from the map. Apologies for that. There we go. I didn't delete it. I did just remove it. So you are now down.
You are going to have to reshare it if you want us to see it, though.
That's a very good point. Let me just put the arrow in. Hopefully it'll share with the arrow. Share sheet.
Yay!
Right. Down to where the point of the arrow is.
Oh, I can zoom.
Yep, you can zoom.
You can.
Scrolly wheel.
Mouse wheel zooms, also mouse wheel drags around the picture within the frame.
Oh, yes, that was it. That's what I was trying to do earlier.
So I don't need to click the arrows in the bottom right to do the same thing.
No,
Oh, that's incredibly helpful.
That is
middle mouse
equally
button.
helpful. Yes, that is
Okay,
also
that's
I should
actually
have
zoomed
mentioned
to
that
an
earlier. I
unhelpful level, actually.
That is actually very helpful. Thank you very much, Fishy.
Let's
And
zoom a bit out.
One of those things. I explained it when we were using Fantasy Grounds for Coriolis, and then forgot to mention it again now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And we started where here?
We actually started just about. I'll stick another pointer on.
There. Right here,
Just
right?
about there. No, that point there is one that Fish put on. That's just another inn. That's the,
Oh,
the
okay.
last drop.
Right.
The way you started was just over here. So you've been shouting it down a fair distance because your initial point of don't know where to go was.
Well, clearly no one is going to know that we're hunting for them. We've not exactly been making much noise.
There.
Right. I shall start my wander back through the streets towards the tavern, keeping an eye out for any shifty characters on the way.
Did you say you'd climbed out of the sewer at that point before you started making your way back? Okay.
Whilst that's going on, Len's going to have a bit of a... Not his clothes, mind you, but he's going to have a bit of a wash if nothing else.
Okay.
Yeah, because that'll help.
Amidst all the fuss, Inga has surfaced and is giving people food, water, drinks, and is supplying wash for those that now need it, and is indeed offering to launder clothes as required.
I will
Fair enough.
take advantage of that offer.
Do you have any other clothes, or are you just stripping down to your undies?
I'm stripping down to me altogether.
Oh dear.
I'm not. Leonard is not a proud man.
Right. Erdit.
But
Yes.
You climb out of the sewer, and within a few yards, a rather large man steps out from a side alley in your path and looks down on you.
Oh no.
It's wet down there.
It is not safe out here. Go hide, little elf.
Oh boy.
I'll keep to the shadows on my way back home through the town.
Run. Run, little elf.
just for my benefit, out of character, this is that in a similar kind of Kislevite tone.
Yes, very similar. Yeah, my Kislevite accent sucks, but yes, very very heavily accented Kislevite.
Kislevite's basically
very similar build to the guy back at the Grey Lord.
I think that's the only
I
size
mean,
they
just
come
to be
in.
clarified, I know Leonard doesn't know this going on, but
Yeah, no, for Kiki's benefit, yes.
The,
this guy definitely sounded Kislevite and was a big chap.
Similar to the gentleman we found, yeah?
Similar to the Kislevite that's staying at the tavern you're in. The gentleman you found was a fairly slender human.
Oh, yes, yes. Yes, I shall return back through the streets, keeping to the shadows, making some pace.
Okay.
And keep my eyes out for more untoward characters.
Very well. So while Erdit is on his little exploration, I know that Leonard is getting cleaned up, and I know that Matilda is tending to Hibat. What are the rest of you up to? Because there's still a very worried Ezio.
I am going to finish getting fully dressed, including pulling on my chain. I seem to have got all I've got. No, I've got breastplate, haven't I?
Oh no, it's a male shirt.
Oh, it's a male shirt I've got. Male shirt?
Male shirt is more likely.
Yeah, male shirt. So yes, I'm going to finish getting dressed because I suspect a fight might happen if we actually manage to find these people. Because I'm not keen on people who kidnap children.
Arm, that's probably going to take. And I started getting dressed first. We're probably going to finish about the same time.
I strongly suspect that since they know each other so well, there's going to be a certain element of giving you a hand, literally. To speed the process.
Oh, I don't know. Gunhilda strikes me as the independent sort. She's probably got her routine of getting her clothes on one-handed and doesn't like people interfering.
Fair enough, then. But yeah, they'll probably end up getting dressed about the same time.
And yeah, once clothes are laundered and I've washed, then I'll dress as well.
It's going to take a bit longer. I suspect you're going to end up in borrowed gear for the rest of this bit.
So, with everyone getting cleaned up, dressed up and togged up, and with Erdit on his way back with potentially new information, I'm going to call it for a halt there for the evening. Because it's 10:15. And that seems like a reasonable point to call things to a close.
It does. Does indeedy.
Cool.
Told you could trust the ferrets.
Trust the ferrets.
Apparently we can, yeah.
Ferrets. Who knew the ferrets were actually going to be useful?
I like the way that, you know, Leonard actually has the thought of, they might have done something, let's have a look round. And it's the ferrets that get all the praise.
It's the ferrets that get the credit.
Look, Leonard's the only person here who is currently being competent with how the roles have gone.
This is true.
Right. I think, yes, that's an excellent place to leave it there. That was really
I think it
fun.
is. Thank you very much for putting up with a GM still trying to work his way around Fantasy Grounds and still trying to relearn a system that he last ran years ago.
Years ago, yeah.
You're doing
So
absolutely
next
fine.
week, Coriolis.
Indeed. Oh,
Back to
good.
find out how many more times I can fail to jump over bits of twig.
Killer Vines a go-go. Oh, no.
Don't know how much more Coriolis there is, whether it's going to be one session or more than one session. I think that partly depends on how paranoid the players are, so probably at least 12 sessions.
Vengeance is mine, saith the Witcher GM.
But yes, next week we will indeed be back to the third horizon.
Yeah.
Yes. And Front Effects, thank you ever so much for the follow.
Space station.
And then
I
the
will
week
throw
after
a
that.
multi in chat. Although we are wrapping up Front Effects, do please give Druttercup and Hint Plays a follow as well, because if you're here for the tabletop roleplay, then you will find games on both those channels on Sundays. Every Sunday on Hint
Indeed.
Plays, because whichever one of us is GMing, it always goes out on Hint Plays.
Mm-hmm.
So please do be sure to follow that channel as well as us. But nevertheless, thank you ever so much for following me. Thank you.
Hey.
We are wrapping up. I will be back on Tuesday. I'm hoping to be drumming again on Tuesday. We'll see
Cool.
exactly for sure. It's kind of up in the air on how the days play out, but I'm hoping to be drumming on Tuesday. And then we got midweek multiplay and definitely drums on Thursday.
Now,
Yay.
midweek multiplay this week, Drought and I will not be
Yes.
there for.
Okay.
We do have a good reason, however.
Yes, we do indeed.
I'm sure you do.
Care to explain the good reason, Beth?
There's a 20th anniversary showing of Ring, and it's one of those one-off jobs. So yes, we will be watching certainly
I
one
love
of my
the film.
favourite films.
I've never seen it on the big
No.
screen for obvious reasons, so it's too good a chance to miss up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
You're not just still trying to help get Brunhilde dressed.
It's not going to take that long.
No.
Not going to take that long.
So thank you, everyone. It was a good
Indeed,
laugh.
thank you all very, very much. And see you all very, very soon.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you all, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.